Sanders later found out his house was robbed Sunday night. On Tuesday, Captain Eric Bors of the Medina County Sheriff's Department on Sanders joined others like Joe Burrow and Travis Kelce in having their homes robbed while playing.
It has happened to quite a few different athletes for different teams. So there does seem to be some type of possible tie to this. We have been in contact with those agencies for those jurisdictions where they've had burglaries and thefts as well.
Sheriff's Department also saying about $200,000 worth of items stolen from the home. Officials adding 3 suspects into the house, but since the group wearing masks and gloves, might be difficult to identify them or recover the stolen property. Browns back to practice this afternoon in Berea. The Browns get ready for their game Sunday at Vegas against the Raiders. Look for an update on Dylan Gabriel, who left last week's game with a concussion. If Gabriel is still out, Shedeur Sanders makes his first NFL start before practice day. We'll hear from head coach Kevin Stefanski, 10:55, live right here on 92.3 The Fan. Ohio State remains the number 1 team in the country. Latest college football playoff rankings. Indiana follows at number 2, and then Texas A&M at number 3. Georgia moved up 1 spot to number 4. Texas Tech moved up a spot to number 5. Cavaliers fined $100,000 by the NBA yesterday for violating the league's player participation policy. The violation happened when the Cavs decided to rest both Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley for the game a week ago tonight in Miami. Both are considered star players under the policy. The Cavs entertain the Houston Rockets tonight here at home. Don't miss the Browns preview show tonight, 7 o'clock, right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas. Up next now for the Carman Show with Anthony Lima here on 92.3 The Fan.
All the Browns and NFL news you may have missed at work. The Afternoon Drive, weekdays starting at 2. 92.3 The Fan. The Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima.
Shedeur's starting on Sunday. And the first thoughts I had, because I saw him struggle so badly on Sunday, was fear. I was struck with fear.
Fear?
Struck with fear.
What is to be afraid of?
I mean, there is a sense of, and I've said this, I've become a desperate man. 31 other teams ain't giving their backups any first-team reps. But the Browns did. And when the Browns did, it makes them open to that criticism.
Maybe it's because I've gone into the Shedeur thing with the lowest of expectations. He's a 5th-round pick. This, to me, is like house money in this situation. I didn't go and buy a Shedeur Sanders jersey. I'm not living and dying with every snap. So for me, I'm just going to sit back and enjoy it on Sunday. I am not life or death on this guy. I'm certainly not going to be life or death in his first start as an NFL game. I'm going to go into Sunday assuming he's going to be bad. And if he's good, this is going to be some fun.
The Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima. This is Cleveland Sports Radio, 92.3 The Fan.
Audio courtesy of Desperation. Good morning.
Morning, Kenny.
How are you?
So do you think Shedeur this weekend, is he going to be thinking at all about his prized possessions that were stolen from him during the game on Sunday, or is he, like a professional athlete, can distance themselves from that? Because I'd be so annoyed. I'd be so annoyed all week. It'll be bothering me every moment of the day. Sure, like, obviously, when you're...
He's going to have to clear the mechanism somehow.
Yeah, when you're rich, and there are different levels of rich, but Shedeur, he's...
Well, tell me about rich people. I don't know.
He's had money his entire life.
Yeah.
And then, now he's got his own hard-earned money. He's earned some money. He can earn even more by playing well. But he got drafted, he signed an NFL contract, and then he goes and buys cool stuff. Maybe some of the stuff was just given to him as well, because he's an influencer. And then to have it taken from you, that would bother me to no end.
Well, it robs your peace of mind. That's a scary thing. I'm not sure what family he has living at the house with him. I'm sure he's not just by himself. So there's other people who might be nervous about that. Have they apprehended the suspects yet? So when you have people that are still at large, that robs your peace of mind. So I mean, when you have $200,000 worth of things taken from you, and then you have that, I can't imagine. I think that's a very nerve-wracking thing for him. I'm dead serious about that.
Well, it's just a pile-on,
because
too.
I think that the family members, if you had family members with you, living with you, I think that they'd be nervous, and then that would make you. Obviously, your senses go off, and you probably, as the homeowner or name on the thing, like you feel like a sense of responsibility to protect those around you. So I think that he would probably be very much bothered by that, and especially with what happened last year, where Mahomes was robbed, Joe Burrow was robbed. Did somebody else get robbed? I don't know. You're losing count of these NFL guys getting robbed.
I thought Kelce did too.
Kelce got robbed. That's right. Kelce got robbed. Yeah, that's going to bother you. That's going to bother you. So I hate to throw another log on the fire of things that
But that's what I mean.
A distraction for him. But,
that's what I mean. Like, nobody is going to talk about that in their analysis of the game this week. But for someone like me, it would bother me. It would just, maybe someone like him's like, oh, I can just amass those things. I can just get them again but certain things have a certain connection with.
I understand that, but I mean, you have insurance and things like that. Like somebody's like, well, I mean, his dad and memorabilia. I'm like, I don't know if I'm collecting memorabilia from my dad. Your dad's a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest to ever play the game, but I don't know.
That'd be weird.
Do you need your dad's old cleats or something? Who knows? I have no idea. But
plus, it was like a driving force and motivation for him to be who he is today.
I just think it's more peace of mind. Like, somebody broke in my house and they're still out there, and who the hell knows what the hell else they're doing here? And now I got to get a team of security and have the police are here and they're checking around things and all that other stuff. And it's probably a very bothersome thing for him. I think it would be bothersome for if it happened to Gabriel, if it happened to any of them. I think it would be bothersome. And I think that's going to play a little bit into the week. If they apprehend the guys, maybe things change, because then I think you get a little bit of peace going, okay, they've apprehended the suspects and we'll have our day in court and things like that, and we can move on. But again, you got people in your life who are probably pretty nervous about such a matter.
It is pretty crazy when you think about, like, you're a professional athlete. Everybody knows when you're gone that one day a week. Mm-hmm. It's just that one time when everybody knows. There's no way that you could, like, stay at home and wait for him. Be like, well, no, then you miss the bus to the stadium. Then you could be like Johnny, who's missing the first bus to the stadium. I don't know. I was just thinking about it this week, and I'm like, no one's going to mention this in the lead up to the game because you're just going to assume that athletes can block that stuff out. But, like, just a rough debut all the way around.
Yeah. Yesterday, you wanted to play a clip from Nick?
Yeah. Okay. I heard something yesterday, and what he said was true, and I thought about it, and I'm like, oh boy, that's why we're in these types of spots continuously in Cleveland.
All right, let's hear it. Here's Afternoon Drive, and this is a clip where Nick had said he's interested in the 2-8 Browns.
It's the funniest thing in the world that the Browns are 2-8, unwatchable offensively. And I don't know this thing has ever been more interesting. Like, as 2-8 teams go, I'm incredibly interested in the final 7 games of the season because there's the Deshaun thing hanging out there. There's Shedeur Sanders, obviously. There's Kevin Stefanski's future. And even, there's people. I heard Jeff Phelps today ahead of the Mary Kay Cabot interview where he was like, I think Dylan looked better on Sunday. And I was like, as opposed to, like, at an 11.4 quarterback rating. But again, I think there's a lot of interesting here. It's not good interesting. But again, same thing with Shedeur on Sunday.
So I heard that. And
I'm more interested in what he said Jeff said now. All of a sudden, like, what?
I was sitting there. Yeah, I agree. I was sitting there nodding. I'm like,
first and goal at the 6.
Yeah.
To start the drive.
Couldn't convert.
Couldn't go 6 yards.
Yeah. Although I guess Lamar had trouble also punching it into the end zone.
You could push an old F-150 into the end zone from that. Sorry, go ahead.
So I sat there and I'm like, yeah, he's right. First 2 names he mentioned, Shedeur and Deshaun. Who else could possibly have that in the NFL? So doesn't that kind of confirm? Isn't that what the Haslams are thinking? Like, hey, we might not be good, but at least we're interesting, and they always figure out a way.
Well, I did think, like, there's been a lot of people, and you know, I've struggled with this thought with a lot of people. I struggle with a lot of thoughts, but I've struggled with this thought with a lot of people where it's like, well, guys, what did you expect? They were going to lose. I go, then don't call in about firing the general manager and the head coach then. If you guys all just assume that they were going to lose, then this is, if this is building towards something, like, guys, this is a rebuilding year. Okay, if it's a rebuilding year, then why are we upset with the coach? Why are we mad at him? Why are you calling in to fire the head coach every single moment of the day? Because if we just all knew it was going to lose, then, well, we must be able to give a free pass on such a matter, right? Because we all knew. But again, you made decisions that really were like, well, I got one foot in the pool and I got one foot still over here on the ledge, and I'm trying to figure out which one I'm going to be on, and it's nonsensical in so many ways. But I do think it's very Jerry Jonesian, where if you're not going to be good, you better be interesting.
You better be talked about.
And you better be talked about. And they are interesting and they are talked about. I don't deny what Nick said. Now, I think for a Browns fan, for a hardcore Browns fan, I think it makes you want to rip your hair out. because you've tasted a little bit of the good life. You had like a little one look inside the club of the playoffs a couple times, and now I know what I'm missing. And so it bothers me. And yeah, I've been a very desperate person and have said some crazy things trying to get this saved. When I think in my heart of hearts, I know it can't be saved. Like there's going to have to be a dismantling in a building, probably with other people here over the next couple of years. And I'm hoping that the young guys, the seeds germinate and they can become leaders in the locker room and do some other things. But there's some things that, hey, my hands are just tied. So I don't know exactly what they can do, but we bogged it down a million times.
The Jerry thing, though, you're mentioning Jerry. Jerry is on record countless times. Have you made it through the documentary yet? The Cowboys documentary. You're
almost. I'm still plugging away.
Okay, so we're on 3 months of this now between the two of us. I think I still have part of the last episode.
Every time I start to watch it, they come out with another serial killer. I got on Eileen Wuornos, and
away she goes.
And away she went, and I'm like, well, I'm going to watch Eileen Wuornos. And then there's, I go, well, everybody's watching this Ed Gein thing, so I got to watch more Ed Gein documentaries. Because again, I don't like the theatrical things. Right. I like the documentary style of it.
Which makes you nervous, because I told you got to watch the John Wayne Gacy on Peacock. Again, they're two simultaneous. John Wayne Gacy's on Peacock. One is dramatized, one is a documentary. But I have enjoyed both.
I feel like an historian now, where I watch and I go, that's not what happened. He made them a fish dinner, and then the guy used the bathroom, and the heat kicked on. He went, something smells like death. And then they went down to the crawl space, and then all of a sudden they started finding all the bodies down there. I mean, that's how that goes. And so as an historian of serial killers, I just don't think that But again, here I am off of Jerry Jones. I'm off of Jerry Jones going down serial killer alley.
Back to Jerry. Oh, by the way, Jerry built a stadium? What is Jimmy Haslam doing right now?
Building a stadium.
He's building a stadium. So it's going to be world class. It's going to be the newest
Jimmy World?
Jimmy Eats World. I don't know. Whatever you want to call it.
It's a decent band.
So that's what I'm getting at. Like, Jerry is on record countless times saying, yeah, I like to be talked about. Don't really care if it's good or bad. Like, yeah, I'd like it to be good, but if it's bad, I got people that'll defend me. Whatever. We're America's team. And I do think that Jimmy Haslam has taken a page out of that time and time again, where it's like, hey, this whole winning and losing thing, he probably looks at it as, I spared no expense. I have the highest payroll. I've spent the most money. I'm the biggest analytics group. You guys all told me analytics were the next wave. I spent the most money on analytics. But I have bought players. I have bought even more players. We're redoing the entire facility in Berea. We've got the dome. I'm lobbying at the state of Ohio. I'm trying to pull federal funds. We're doing everything we can. That, in the end, winning or losing is kind of luck. So the one thing I can control is, are we relevant? Are we talked about?
But
guess what? This week they were talked about.
They were talked about. You're right. But they all said $6 tickets at one point.
Mm-hmm.
You take the good with the bad. Which, by the way, I think that the market kind of had an uptick at the end, because I think so many people were like, $6 tickets, maybe I'll change. And then by the time kickoff came around, they were $30.
Oh, they went up.
So it's almost like the market raised because so many people got excited about $6 tickets. Like, maybe I will head on down to the stadium and go watch an NFL game. Maybe I will do something like that. So are you agreeing with Nick? Are you saying that they're interested? Interesting? Okay, because I got something to tell you here in just about 3 seconds. But go ahead.
Part of me was kind of side-eyeing whenever I hear that, and I'm like, well, all the national football podcasts, they avoided the Shador thing almost entirely. And I talked about that at the beginning of yesterday. I went through all the guys that talk real football, and they're like, we're not talking about Shador. Like, he's a 5th-round pick. Mm-hmm. But the guys that do debate shows and look for content and look for the most amount of... I mean, they're all looking for clicks. But the content game with the debate shows are on another level. And obviously, they are talking a ton of Shador. And you're seeing... good and bad, and they're trying to make it an equal debate when, the answer is, we all know he was terrible. There were some good moments, like any NFL. I mean, Gardner Minshew has great moments. Like every quarterback, good or bad, has... Johnny Manziel had an entire stadium chanting Johnny when he connected. Was it San Francisco? When he connected on a giant touchdown pass down the field? I was in the building. I thought it was San Francisco. I'll have to look it up. And the whole place is chanting Johnny, Johnny, Johnny. Mm-hmm. Everybody has good moments as an NFL quarterback. Is there one that never had one good moment? Deshaun Kaiser, did he have good moments? I mean, they were 0-. I think he started 15 of the 16, and they were 0-16 that year. Did he have any good moments where you're like, all right, there's something in there?
I don't remember.
But that's what I mean.
Maybe.
And you could always
Did the
find.
preseason count?
No.
Then no.
Because Shador had a great preseason game. Then he had a terrible one, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. The Rams game was terrible.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Second half on Sunday was terrible as well. So it's Wednesday. Do I share what I think now, or do I wait until 6:23? Do I do that now, or do I wait until 6:23?
Well, do you have a good feeling about this weekend?
Kind of want to tell you at 6:23.
Okay.
I don't think I want to tell you right now how I feel about Sunday, because I heard Albert Breer yesterday, and I felt in a lot of ways like, and this has been my issue with some of the Shador stuff, is that I think that, like, and I got mad at you on Monday because I think that a lot of us end up talking to the mentions, talking to the social media stuff. He has a very strong fan base that if you don't agree with them, they call you just terrible things. But I've dealt with that before with Baker's fan base and Johnny Manziel's fan base and Odell Beckham Jr.'s fan base.
Been through it before.
This is my fourth rodeo of a very strong fan base for one single person.
Do we count LeBron too, just because he had a national fan base, international?
Yeah, but I mean, you're looking at Baker's a really good quarterback. Odell, it's always going to be what if. Johnny was a total mess, and we'll see what Shador comes. I mean, LeBron is arguably the greatest player who ever played the game.
One of the best in sports.
Even the quote-unquote haters of LeBron are like, well, I mean, he came back and he had did he have a double-double last night?
He looked like LeBron last night.
How old is he? 76
they put up
years old?
140 points.
I mean, he's older than William Shatner, and that's how well he did.
He was incredible.
LeBron is a different animal. We got to separate him from the other four guys, because the other four guys, like, some of it's overrated. This guy ain't nothing overrated about LeBron. I mean, that's just how great he is. But I think that a lot of us we're talking to some of the people who are the Dennis 69s of the world and Firecrotch 67 and all the other ones that you mentioned that send you nasty things. And I accused you of that on Monday. And I think that Albert didn't have a great bedside manner with the afternoon guys yesterday. And I felt myself, the problem was, as a guy who wants a Browns quarterback to do well, let it be Shador or God knows who, I found myself agreeing with him yesterday. Because I got a feeling about how Sunday's going to go. And I don't think you guys are going to like what I have to say at 6:23 on The Fan.
Hey, it's Mike Rowe, and this
You can now watch The Fan live on YouTube. Catch The Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima from 6 till 10 a.m. and Afternoon Drive with Nick Wilson and Jonathan Peterlin from 2 to 7 p.m. each and every weekday. It's free. Subscribe to 92.3 The Fan on YouTube.
Coming up today, we go around the AFC North. Jason Lloyd, 9 o'clock, to tell us the good news, I'm sure. Also, make sure you come on out. 11 to 1. Bomber Sports Cards. 203 East Royalton Road. Beautiful Broadview Heights. Friday, 11 to 1. We'll be there doing the emerging podcast scene live. It'll be live on YouTube if I'm not mistaken. Is that true? Hope I'm right about that.
Yeah.
If not, I just said it. I'm going to get a nasty text, so we'll see how that one goes. But we're supporting shoes and clothes for kids. Bring some socks. I'm having a problem where my socks are coming back mismatched. I don't know what's going on there. I can't find them in the morning. I'm waking up Liz. It's a bad situation.
The socks that I have
it's all a bad spot.
Actually have a little L or a little R on them.
Okay.
Yeah.
For left and right?
For left and right. And it actually makes it more aggravating because a lot of them look similar.
Okay.
So even if they're fine, I could wear two left ones. I can't get past it mentally, so I won't do it.
That's why you just need to buy socks without that on there.
A lot of these, they're the running socks.
They're specifically made for left and right
they're
feet.
From
God almighty.
Feet Fleet.
Just get on a treadmill or an elliptical and call it a day. You're getting too old for that stuff. I got some bad news for everybody. Albert Breer was on yesterday on Afternoon Drive. That's bad news enough. Here's Albert Breer, where he was. Boy, he was. When you have to apologize, 3 times during the interview, going, guys, I'm not trying to be mean to you.
I'm not trying to sound like the most mean-spirited person who's ever done an interview with you for the 3rd time.
It's pretty nasty. Here is Breer being
guys,
brutally.
I'm not trying to be condescending as I talk down to you for the 5th time today.
Here's Breer being brutally honest. Go ahead.
Those plays where he drifts, and now all of a sudden he's like screwing his tackles over, right? Like, so his tackles are kind of blocking to a spot, and he is like backing into that spot. Those plays have resulted in big hits. On other plays, he's getting pressure from the middle. Do you trust that this week all of a sudden he's going to start stepping up in the pocket, or is he going to reinforce bad habits?
Yeah, I think that's what the practice is for now.
Can you simulate that in practice?
Against Myles Garrett and Mason Graham, I think he might be able to.
In a week?
Well,
do you think that bad habit that he had for 4 years in college is going to be solved in a week of practice? I don't know.
Yeah, Nick knows the answer to that. It's not. Sunday's not going to go well.
Oh, my God.
I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to do this for effect. I hope this, guys, I want to be dead serious about this. I hope this is one of the worst takes that I've ever had, and I hope this is played in perpetuity.
It'd be amazing.
Sunday's going to go rough. Sunday's going to be a bad day, and we need to prepare ourselves for that. 4:25 or 4:05, I forget what time the game starts. It could be 9 in the morning. I don't care. It ain't going to go well. It's not going to go well.
You don't think there's any shot?
No.
It's the Raiders.
It's 1 week, and you're doing things that, again, and Jordan Reed brought it up, these are terminal issues. The drifting in the pocket, you're exactly right. You don't have great tackles. The Raiders are a bad team. Guys, you've already lost to one bad team. You're not a good team. You're bad.
We're underdogs.
Good. You're not good. So to go, the Raiders, it's like, well, you lost to the Jets. And you lost to the Jets on the road. You haven't won a road game in 13 or 14 games. I lost count. You haven't won a game in a Western time zone or a Pacific time zone since 2013.
No, come on.
And this is the group that's going to change that.
That's true.
Against the Raiders, oddly enough. So maybe they will be the one that changes that. But I just don't think. It might end up like a Browns home game where a lot of people are going out to Vegas. So maybe you got that. But the problem is you've lost a lot of games at home too recently. So I don't know if that really matters. It's not going to go well. And I hope, I want to look right into the camera and say, I really, really, really hope I'm wrong. But what Albert says, and there's a lot of things that I just don't want to hear from Albert a lot of times, and I'll stop there because I don't want to end up in a meeting. He's right. You got.
Well, he's just totally dismissing him. He's like, why are you guys in Cleveland are talking a lot of Shedeur Sanders? Yeah. That's how it sounded.
And that's because this is, and I'll say this. This is maybe my problem here. I don't want to say my problem with Albert Breer. I think that he's talking in so many parts in the interview yesterday. You guys got to hear it, 923thefan.com. At 10 o'clock you can hear it, but I want you to listen to us
It's
right now.
Must listen.
I think he's talking to his mentions. I think he's talking to people on the internet again, the Dennis 69, Firecrotch 87, who are yelling at him about Shedeur being the second coming. And I can understand that. I think you've done it. I think we've all done it to a certain degree. We've all had a guy in our head on the internet, and we've spoken to them through the radio. It's happened. And I think that's what he's doing, because I don't really hear that type of Albert Breer on anybody else. And yes, well, why are you guys talking about it? Because, frankly, I knew going in it was a hope. I mean, again, when you say fifth-round pick, yeah, fifth-round pick. There's a lot stacked against him. And I think that ultimately, judging by one half of football, which is not fair, but I can only go by what I've seen, I think he made the wrong decision. I think he probably should have went to the Ravens and studied for a year under Lamar. Or he should have went, what was the other team that was talking about taking him? The Eagles.
Eagles, yeah.
He should have went to the Eagles and studied for a year under Jalen Hurts or something like that. But now you're playing and you got what you wanted. And I have the blind leading the blind. I'm in no position right now to bring up a young quarterback that is a developmental quarterback. I don't have time to develop anybody. And so you knew he was going to play. You had a feeling he was going to play sooner than later. He was going to play before he was ready. The entire situation, I look at it and I go, well, they said, they leaked out T and Rappaport, well, we're going to give him a week of practice. Well, what's a week of practice going to do before you started the guy? Changing out the offense and doing some other things. Was that really going to help? Was that really going to help a whole lot? No.
By the way, it's not a week. We talk week of practice. Like, yeah, you go into the meetings on Monday, but you don't actually do anything till Wednesday.
And
so it's
honest,
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday walkthrough.
Yeah.
You don't do much on Friday.
You got a Wednesday practice, you have a Thursday practice, you have a Friday pseudo, and then Saturday you're traveling, or Friday, maybe you're traveling Friday afternoon, I'm not sure, because it's a Western, it's
so
a
you're not
Pacific
getting
time.
a normal full practice
so
Friday.
You got basically 3 days to get this thing ready, and then there's mental reps. Well, again, as Brian Hoyer had said yesterday, how can you really have mental reps when you have, again, a rookie quarterback playing ahead? It's the blind, again, leading the blind, for the love of God. So I don't think Sunday's going to go well. I hope most of you can talk me out of that thought, and I hope that I end up being wrong. But I think I'm going to be brutally right, and by 7 o'clock on Sunday, I'm just going to be sitting there with my thumbs crossed and my hands together and thinking about ways to not have to play Deshaun Watson. Because I'll be honest with you, again, let me take the headphones off for a second. I can't hear anything else except myself and you. This is what this was about. I was trying to get through the entire season without having to talk about Deshaun Watson playing again for the Cleveland Browns and having to deal with any of that. And I did not foresee us trading away 2 of the veterans and having to force Dylan Gabriel sooner. I didn't foresee Joe playing as poorly as he did, because he did not play well at the beginning of the year. And here we are.
Yeah, we're on our 5th.
It's almost like I'm having a press conference over a bad loss right now. I apologize.
We are on our 5th guy, if you think about it.
So we're on our 5th guy. I'll put the headset back on, but that's where I'm at. And I was so desperate.
And some guys in the building might have wanted Zappy to be the 5th guy.
Probably. Desperate is the word I keep using, because that's what I was. I was so desperate to find something. And what I got upset about, like I get upset about it with you. I got upset about it with you, and I get upset about it with other people. It's like, well, they'll just throw him out there and I don't care. We spent a lot of time talking about him. People have bought his jersey. People clearly care about him. Whether they've met him or not, they clearly care about the guy. He's a very popular quarterback. He has a very strong fan base. And I don't just want to be like, the hell with it. No, this is our own time. This is our emotions that we're playing with. And I just have felt so often that if I just protect my emotions and say, I don't care, then I become like a lot of other guys who have done this in the past. And I just flat out refuse to do it. It was sometimes to my own detriment. So I can only be as clearly honest as possible. These are things that cannot be fixed in 3 days of practice. And they're not going to be fixed in 3 days of practice. And it ain't going to go well on Sunday.
The line is not getting any better, right?
No.
We have no reason to believe the offensive line.
I hope I'm wrong, guys. I've never hoped I was wronger. I don't know if that's a word. I've never hoped I was more wrong about a take in my entire life. 18 years doing this. I've never hoped I was wrong more in my life than I am right now. I don't think Sunday's going to go well. And I'm looking at the phones. There's nothing there. I think you guys all agree with me. I think you all agree with me. I think everybody has a very bad feeling about this. And a lot of people are just protecting their feelings going, well, Ken, what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of?
Well,
I'm afraid of having to waste more time talking about guys that just don't come to fruition. Because you guys know this isn't a good setup for anybody in the 5th round, let alone him, who's a very popular guy. It wasn't a good setup for Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who is a 5th round guy. And it ain't going to be a good setup for Shedeur Sanders. This is where we're at. So I think you have a defense right now that is flatly Super Bowl quality, and it will boil my guts on Sunday to see them have to play against the Raiders and their own offense on Sunday afternoon. You want the truth? There it is. And I'm not even loud. I'm not mad. I'm not shaking red. You wanted the truth, everybody? You got the unvarnished truth. I'm not giving hope. I'm just giving the straight facts of how I see it. My unvarnished opinion of how things are going to go on Sunday, and it ain't going to be fun. Hi. You got anything else? Do you want to fight? You don't even want to push back on that.
Well, I'm not pushing back. The thing I said, and the reason I said house money yesterday is because I already had arrived to the conclusion that I kind of think you've gotten to this week. But that doesn't mean that I'm not like kind of excited to see if he is really that guy that can. Well, hold on now. I want to give him a chance.
I want to as well, but I don't think he's going to get a chance.
But I have so many Shedeur people getting after me. I mean, they're finding me on Instagram and Facebook. I don't even use Facebook, and I found these messages calling me all sorts of names and. That I've had
the ones who brought your daughter into it are beyond the pale. That's disgusting.
Well, that I've had this vendetta against the Sanders family. I'm like, well, you didn't hear us for 2 years. Get excited about. We were doing a Colorado recap every day, every Tuesday and Thursday, like talking about how exciting this was. What was going on in Boulder. I had my questions about whether any of that translated to the next level. By the way, I had those questions about Travis Hunter too.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for Travis Hunter, it's just been a disaster. It's good for the Browns, but it's been a disastrous.
It's a shame. I'm not going to celebrate a guy getting injured. I know you're not either. I know you're not either.
But like to see the messages and accusing me of being the worst kind of individual you could possibly be because I have my doubts about Shedeur. I do want to hold out hope that it would be kind of awesome to have all this shoved in my face. I've had stuff shoved in my face before. Like, it'd be great for the show, for him to be great. Of course, it'd be great for Cleveland if he would be able to turn this around. It'd be a great national story. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Let me talk to the Shedeur fans personally. You guys know I like Shedeur Sanders.
I think he seems like an awesome dude.
Well, beyond that, I loved his father, and I still do. And it bothers me to say it. For everybody who loves Shedeur, this isn't Rex Ryan. I'm not putting all this on him for the love of God. I'm not doing that. Like, I got very upset with what Rex Ryan said on Monday. I thought that was ridiculous. Him staring on the sidelines by himself, sitting there. Like, yeah, I think he's coming to a realization just how hard this is going to be and just how far behind he is. For the fans who are just with us because they like Shedeur, listening to us just because they like Shedeur, they're not even Browns fans. What have you guys been saying about this coaching staff and this organization over the last how many months? It is going to take something completely illogical for this to go very well on Sunday. Completely illogical. He will have to suspend belief. And I tell you this, I really, really, really hope they make a fool of me. I will celebrate being the fool. I'll wear a dunce cap in here if I have to. I don't even know if they make those anymore. I'll do what's necessary because it would take a Herculean effort by him. And it would take a Herculean effort by this coaching staff to change some of the things that we saw in one half of football and change them in 3 days that Jordan Reed, Albert Breer, Dane Brugler, a lot of people have lined up and said, these are mistakes, these are habits that you really just can't fix in a very short amount of time. So that's where I'm at on this. It's not just a Shedeur thing, guys. It's not just on him. I'm not saying that if he would have had a year, maybe by next year, something like that, he doesn't get that time here. He doesn't get that time here. We are not the right place. It is not the right situation. And I think Sunday is not going to go very well. I really, really, really hope I'm wrong. 216-474-0092. I'll get to you guys on this. Talk me into it. Talk me into it. Give me some thought. I'm not trying to be mean-spirited. I'm only trying to be honest. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, live on The Fan.
It doesn't seem like whenever I ask somebody that question, I'm sort of still searching for people what people are going on at this point. Draft position, like the NFL told you what they thought. He winds up, being at the bottom of the depth chart. And then, you see some of these things happen over the course of time. And, he gets in because the Browns were down to the third guy and the third guy got hurt. And then he gets in the game and doesn't look good. I'm struggling to see exactly what people are wrapping their arms around right now.
That's Albert Breer yesterday. Am I getting hammered in the mentions?
Not hammered.
I responded to one because he's been a listener for a long time.
There's one I saw in the YouTube chat. Somebody says, where's Garrett Bush? Where's G. Bush when we need him?
Oh, ask Garrett what he thinks of the coaching staff. Again, you have the coaching staff that you guys all want the staff gone. And they're gonna lead the developmental guy. And that's going to be a recipe for success on Sunday? Hey, the best thing you got going for you is you're playing against a bad team. Like, your defense could play very well, and you beat the Green Bay Packers with your offense or with your defense. But I think in so many ways, your defense is going to have to line up and play against the Raiders and their own offense. And, who knows what special teams we'll get. So basically, you have a defensive unit playing against one team and 2/3 of another. That's kind of how that's going to go. Look, Sean, social media reactions brought to you by Scheib & Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store. Sean's never liked anything I had to say. Because if I'm over exuberant, then I'm way too excited, but now I'm just Debbie Downer here. Sean, good God, Ken, you're the most knee-jerk reaction person ever. One dude changed your whole outlook on this kid. I'm not even confident, but hell, let's watch the same amount of games played as Gabriel before the damn roof collapses. I'm not comparing him to Dylan Gabriel. I'm comparing him to the situation that he's in. It's not Dylan Gabriel. I'm not saying, it's not put Dylan Gabriel back out there. Go ahead, let him in. I just don't think it's going to go very well. And by the way, that's not Albert saying that. Albert speaks through a lot of different people around the NFL who's looking and seeing this and don't think much. The chickens are coming home to roost in so many ways. Hope I'm wrong. I really, you guys know where I stand with the team. You know where I stand with the fans. I want them to go well. I want them to do well. I want them to win. God, do I want them to win. And I hope I'm wrong. But if the same people who are getting mad over what I think is going to happen on Sunday, ask yourself, when Dylan, and I'll make the comparison to Dylan now. What did you think of the coaching staff when he was in there? When things weren't going well on Sunday, what did you think of the coaching staff when Shedeur was in there? What did you think of the offensive line? What did you think of the plays? What did you think of the receivers?
And they got no running game either.
Okay, so we
like Judkins. They have no running game.
Judkins breaks off these 20-yard runs, and somehow he averages 3.4 yards a carry.
What does that tell you about the other 18 carries?
Exactly. Like, it's not that they're hapless. There is some gold in their hills, but it just doesn't add up. So I'm not protecting my own feelings. Guys, it kills me to say this. I was up. I'll be honest with you. I woke up at 1 a.m. this morning. I've been up ever since. It bothers me so badly to tell you this. Of anything, I think we might be the only real show left in the whole business, for the love of God. Understand that I'm telling you the absolute truth here. Is I hope it goes well. I just don't see how this does. Because it's not Albert. It's a lot of people in the NFL who says these things to him. Because, again, he's sitting there going, why are you guys sitting there grinding your gears over a fifth-round pick? Why are you doing that? That's not Albert. That's a lot of people in the NFL going, you guys are grinding your gears over a fifth-round pick. And we say he's developmental. And if he's developmental, how am I going to develop him in a week? I'm sorry, did we not start off Monday arguing about the lack of reps that he got? Did I not nearly come over the table at you with the lack of reps that he got? He's going to get reps now. So he's going to be that good that quickly?
Ooh.
I hope he is.
Ooh, I don't know.
I hope he is.
Hold on.
Guys,
do we have to be consistent? Do they have to listen to Cam Newton? Does Bailey Zappi need to get a bunch of reps this week so he can be ready in case he comes into the game?
It doesn't matter. No. Sunday won't go well, and then we'll decide to line up and blame whoever we want so we can get our clicks. I'm just telling you guys right now how I think it's going to go. Because wrap your head around the realism of this. If you don't think they're good, and he was a product of that on Sunday, or a victim even if you want to, how are they going to fix it in 3 days? You yelled at me earlier this week going, Ken, why on earth would you still think it was going to go well even if they did start him without any reps and now he was going to have a week of practice and all of a sudden fix all that? You said that, and so many of you lined up and said the same thing. So I'm basically only saying the same thing back to you guys. And for the ones that are, again, they are not Browns fans, they are listening to us because they are Shador fans, ask yourself what you've been saying about the organization since April, since OTAs, since they really started practicing with them. Ask yourself what you've been saying about everything since they first got Shador Sanders. So you have to hope for something unrealistic. The only thing there is hope. That's all we got. 216-474-0092. You can win the game. The Raiders are a terrible football team. They are a really bad team. You're also 2-8. You got a great defense going for you, so you might lose that game 3-0. You may very well lose that game 3-0. You may win that game 3-0. Hell, you might turn them over and get the ball in the red zone and be able to get a field goal. But I just don't think it's going to go very well. I just don't think so. I'm going to get to you guys when we come back, I promise. Folks, you can listen to The Fan anytime, anywhere on the free Odyssey app. Get your smart speaker. Tell Alexa, play 92.3 The Fan. You can also watch us on YouTube. Comment on YouTube as well. Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima, 6 to 10 a.m. Afternoon Drive with Nick Wilson and Jonathan Peterlin from 2 to 7. Live each and every weekday on 92.3 The Fan's YouTube channel. Subscribe to our channel and watch all the very best content for your favorite shows on The Fan each and every weekday. We got about last night at 7:45. Talk me into it in 5 minutes on The Fan.
XTENDAV.com. Extend Technology. So game's going to be on the road this week. It's still another 4 o'clock kickoff. People are going to be watching from all over the country. But what is your setup? I can tell you firsthand, I'll have 85-inch TV in my home that I'm going to get punted from, and I'll have to go into the other room and watch smaller TV because of the kids. But I will be watching that game on a TV in a home entertainment setup that has been furnished by the best of the best at Extend Technologies, and it's going to look sensational.
Extend Technology.
See, will the Cavaliers back to work tonight entertain Houston at Rocket Arena. Don't miss the Browns preview show tonight, 7 o'clock, right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Catch Afternoon Drive with Nick Wilson and Jonathan Peterlin live on YouTube each and every weekday from 2 to 7 p.m.
Lloyd coming up at 9. I'm sure that's going to be a lot of fun for all of us. Folks, you can always listen to the show and all of our local shows on The Fan, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, or you take The Fan wherever you go. Listen to us on the free Odyssey app, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps. They're fantastic. 216-474-0092. Not trying to be a downer. Not trying to be a downer whatsoever. But I'm saying for everybody, I think you better brace yourselves for Sunday. If I said yesterday, and I don't know. Every time I mention them, we get accused of taking out of context, so who the hell knows? But if it's like, well, Ken, what are you afraid of? No, I'm afraid of Sunday. I'm afraid of Sunday. I don't want to have to talk about a coaching staff that can't lead a young quarterback. I don't want to talk about a young quarterback that has to overcome so much. I don't want to talk about a young quarterback that, again, is just going to be added to the name, another name added to the jersey. I don't want to have to do all that. And I'm getting a very, very, very bad feeling I'm going to have to do that on Sunday. Or start the process of it. And like Xavier P., again, one of our great listeners, and the comparison with Dylan Gabriel. And it's like, well, we've seen one half of football. I don't want to write off Shedeur Sanders either. I just don't think that this is going to be the right opportunity at all. And I look at Xavier and go, Xavier, you've been very critical of Kevin Stefanski. You've been very critical of this offense. Is he going to be able to fix all this? Is he going to be able to take strides? Like, can you see a scenario with their defense, with the Browns' defense, where he plays well enough to put them in a position to win? I hope so. But I think it's going to be unlikely. They go into this as dogs, right? They go into this as dogs. Probably a short amount of points. Probably a small amount of points.
Against a team we just saw get humiliated and have to play on Monday night. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah. So it's a difficult situation that he's going into. And I've never wanted to be more wrong about a take in my entire life, without a doubt. Because I'm so tired of being on this carousel of quarterbacks. I want him to work out. It would be a remarkable story. But I don't know if this is the situation that's going to work out. 216-474-0092. Chris in New Orleans, Louisiana. You're first up on The Fan. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, fellas. First time caller.
Glad to have you.
So, look, this is my thing. Shedeur Sanders, shove Elvin Brand
Chris. Are you on speaker?
No, I'm not on speaker.
Okay, here we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead and say what you were going to say.
So, yeah, did Shedeur Sanders shove, Elvin Brand to a toilet or something in high school? Because there's no way in the world you can speak with that much malice and vitriol about a kid that you don't know. You know, I understand you're an evaluator, but one reason I listen to you guys every morning is because you give a balanced and nuanced conversation to the matter. Like Lima, we know you're skeptical about him, but you still approach it with a high level of professionalism.
Okay.
You know? And so, if you ever get hate, it'll never come from me. You know, and I'll preface it by saying this. I've never watched Shedeur play in college. I've only seen him since you got to you guys. But you hit it on the head, Ken. You can't speak about the kid like that because of his fans. You know, and that's just.
Well, I'll tell you this, Chris.
Yeah.
You didn't see him in college?
No. I'm in New Orleans, so he flies behind us.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm in the Eastern time zone. Well, Chris, and you are breaking up a little bit. And thank you very much for the call.
They were featured on 60 Minutes.
Let me tell you this.
This was a program that was, whether you think it was too much hype or whatever, it was almost impossible to ignore the things that Shedeur and Travis Hunter and Dion were doing in Boulder. It was awesome.
But I do think that Albert...
And they didn't even beat good teams, and it was still awesome.
Yeah, exactly. I can't believe you could miss Shedeur Sanders in college. I can't believe that. But either way, especially, you're playing with Travis Hunter. He's the Heisman Trophy winner, for crying out loud. Either way, you got major stars to stage and screen on the sidelines, for the love of God. How could you... Anyway, going back to what Albert said. Albert did not have a good bedside manner. That's granted. And I said, I said it earlier in the show, and I'll say it again. I think he was talking to people in his mentions here over these last many months. But I also know he's an insider, and I think that he gets told a lot of things from a lot of people around the league, and that came out yesterday.
Well, think about what the league started putting out there about Shedeur.
Yes.
Once everybody came together at the Combine. They're like, oh my God, Mel Kiper's talking about him as quarterback 1. They're like, he's not a first-day pick. He may not be a first 2-day pick. I remember Albert, Zach Jackson, people that came back from the Combine started telling people, and there were a lot that did not like it, but they started telling people, like, no, we talked to a bunch of NFL teams in Indy, and this first-round stuff, remember, I had to change my tune because me and you were debating whether he could be the second pick in the draft.
I just assumed he was going to be the second. Until Jimmy said something, I was like, he's going to be the second pick in the draft. You guys better get ready. Let's see if we can make this thing work. And then all of a sudden, Jimmy spoke. I go, well, I don't think they're taking a quarterback high at all. They might take one later. And then we got 2 quarterbacks later. But I bring up, I just think it's a situation. It's not a good situation for him. There's a lot of things that need to be fixed, and there's a lot of things that I think that the Raiders are going to do to try to exploit him. Usually, I'd be a lot more optimistic. I'd go, it's the first time out. They don't have a lot of tape on him. They'll go and they'll make some changes here, and maybe I'll worry more about San Francisco or even Tennessee afterwards, but I'm not as worried about the Raiders at all. I think he played well. I don't see it.
But
because,
the caller detecting the malice in the voice of guys like Albert Breer, he was actually nice to me and said, but I've been accused of it too. But I just think they're talking about him like they would all the 5th-round picks taken in the NFL. Like, obviously, all the 5th-round picks don't have this spotlight on him that Shedeur does.
And I flatly disagree because of what you just said.
Do you think Albert Breer was talking about Craig Krenzel?
No.
And I used him.
No.
He was a 5th-round pick. He's a Buckeye. Do you think Albert Breer spent a moment thinking, hey, maybe Craig Krenzel can make it in the NFL?
I get agitated.
I could go through Sean Clifford, pick 149 for the Packers. But Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Do you think Albert Breer speaking with malice when he's like, you guys are asking me questions about DTR?
No, but what I don't like,
these guys don't think any of these 5th-round picks are going to make it.
But that's the issue that I have. What I don't like is that Albert and a lot of others, it's not just Albert, but since he's the guy we're talking about here, a lot of others just flatly refuse to see, like, he's got a massive fan base, guys.
Yeah.
If he were undrafted, the fan base would follow him. Okay, he is a Moses for a lot of college football fans out there. I mean, that's what people have made him their entire personality. People have made them into their favorite football player ever to play the game. And anybody who fails to see that, I'm sorry, you need to get off your phone or stop texting coaches and actually go walk the street and see how some of these fans are.
But those
they are
people,
fans of the man we talk about.
But they're citing yardage and completion percentage in college as if any of that translates to the NFL. And with guys like Graham Harrell and Timmy Chang and Landry Jones.
But we do that with a lot of guys.
It didn't translate. And in 90% of the time, it's not going to translate.
We do that with a lot of guys, and we've done that for other Browns quarterbacks before. This is just hyped up more because he's the most popular guy coming out of college last year. There will be other popular guys that we will have these arguments. Like, I don't understand where people are like, I can't believe we're having this argument. You didn't have this argument over Tim Tebow? You didn't have this argument over a lot of football players in the past?
That was the thing.
We had a lot of arguments over
100%. We also had it with Johnny Manziel, and Johnny was beating the best teams in college football and was a Heisman Trophy winner.
That's exactly right.
And Shedeur didn't do any of that.
But Shedeur was beating a lot of football teams, at least the second year at Colorado. He was beating a lot of football teams, and they had some wonderful games, and he had some wonderful performances. So I just don't understand.
But nobody talked about Johnny as a redshirt year. Guys, the Browns...
Well, they took him in the first round.
There were people in the Browns building, there's been reporting now, saying that this was going to be a redshirt year. So if you believe that reporting, I have no reason not to believe it. And quite frankly, the Browns operated like that. In the preseason trade game, they kind of operated like this was going to be a redshirt year, and now they got thrust into having to play him now. But if you knew that was the case going in, if the Browns just would have been honest on day one that Shedeur was taken, and they said, you know what, we think the future is going to be very big for Shedeur Sanders, and we are so excited to see him work, and we're going to put it on the calendar. 2026 is going to be the year that we see the best out of Shedeur, and I'm talking next year, not January this year. Would you still think about it that same way that you think about it today? Do you think the problem was that the Browns made it seem like there was a quarterback competition? Because you and I both know there was never a quarterback competition that involved Shedeur Sanders.
That's true, but the word is out there, and then you have a quarterback that, again, a lot of people like, and they're looking at Dylan Gabriel, they're looking at Kenny Pickett, they're looking at Joe Flacco going, he go right through these guys, and you and I both know that he wasn't because of how they were set up. But you go back to the Johnny thing real quick. Had the Browns not made that mistake of taking him at number 22 overall, is it crazy that he would have fallen to Friday? He would have fallen to Friday. If the Browns would have made that move, he probably would have fallen to Friday. Now, I have to go back through the history here. We're in the middle of having a conversation, and you just brought up a ghost from the past, but he probably would have fallen to Friday. Or I don't think he would have fallen to Saturday, but he certainly would have fallen to day 2, I think. So they went and they got him. The Browns, if we're saying mistakes, the Browns, I guess, have made the same mistake twice, and they're supposed to learn from those mistakes. Now, this guy, he doesn't have anywhere near the problems Johnny Manziel did, for crying out loud. And this guy I actually like, where I really don't like Johnny Manziel, and that's obviously, I think, a Cleveland fan's personal feeling about the guy, even personally about him. This one I do like. But what I get upset about is that it has to be either we just look at this without any realism whatsoever of what the general fan thinks. And there's an interest in the guy, whether you love him or whether you hate him, there's an interest in the guy. And I just don't understand. How many people like Nate Tice? Nate Tice is a football guy. He hosts a podcast for football fans, and they call it Football 301, and he breaks down the football. He can be that way. He doesn't go out amongst the crowd. When we bring on guys like other people as well, it's like, how can you sit there and go, well, I can't believe you guys are talking about a 5th-round pick. First off, it's the Browns. You guys always want to make fun of the jersey with so many names on it. Second of all, it's the most popular player in college football. Go out amongst the fans for once. I hate to say touch the grass. Go out amongst the fans and see how people are. He's a very popular guy, and they want to see what he can do. And my issue with it is it's not set up for success. We were having knockdown, drag-out arguments in August about him throwing to ball boys. And now here we are only before Thanksgiving. And no reps, so no real work at all. And now he's supposed to go out there against a defensive ones? But so
what was him?
And we don't like the coaching staff. We don't think that their offense is good. And he's supposed to do very, very well.
If a really good organization,
this is not set up well.
If the good organization would have taken him. Let's say it would have been Baltimore or Philly. Setting him up for success would have been
keeping him behind Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts.
And sitting him the entire year.
Of course, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So if we're in agreement on that, I don't know, the Shedeur fans will not be in agreement with that. They're going to say that would be you know what as well, because that would not be fair to Shedeur's talent and his shooting star. Like, guys, just admit, when you fall to the 5th round, you are not going to have anything set up for you in this league. You are an afterthought.
I'll admit it.
But in a lot of ways.
I will admit that. But again, look at what the Browns have done here over these last so many months. We talk about reps. You gave away Dylan reps. And people don't think much of Dylan Gabriel, including you and I. And we put Dylan Gabriel in a bad spot, too. I mean, you and I talked about fairness. We're like, man, we've been just as unfair to Dylan Gabriel as we have anybody else, including Shedeur. And Shedeur would, I think, even agree with that, considering his comments after the game on Sunday.
Yeah.
216-474-0092. Coming up, I like that the Cavs are struggling. And talk me into it on Sunday, please. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, live on The Fan.
Anthony Lima.
Checkeye for 92.3 The Fan.
This traffic report is fueled by True North convenience stores and True Rewards mobile app.
Download the True Rewards app from True North stores. Join today and save 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up and save 5 cents every day. Get member-only offers and stackable fuel savings in the palm of your hand. Find it in your app store. True North stores and True Rewards. Fast, friendly, clean.
Listen to 92.3 The Fan on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn app.
Get back to shore here in about 5 minutes. Coach Lance Reisland has checked in with me via text. I will read that text coming in shortly.
Wait a second.
Coach Lance is coming in hot,
Coach
babe.
Lance also reached out to me. Now, is he pitting us against each other?
Oh, wait, no.
Is it a diabolical move?
I said, have you said this on the radio yet? He goes, I have not. And he goes, just you two. So it means he texted you the same thing.
Well, I was asking him questions, yeah.
Hold
well,
on.
don't scoop him.
No, I ain't scooping
Let him
anything.
save it for himself.
I said, I'm reading it on air. He said, okay. He has given me permission to read it on the air. So I'm going to read it on the air. However, Cavs Surfside update brought to you by the fine folks at Surfside. Please drink responsibly. I think we can have a deeper conversation about this. I was listening to a little bit of stuff and watching the Cavs here over this last week. I rewatched them yesterday. I got to tell you guys, I think this is great. I like that they're struggling defensively. I like that they're struggling right now. Like injury, and I'm not one of the guys that are saying just like, once they get Darius back, everything's just going to be hunky dory and everything's going to be fine. Like I put it on social media, and our boss Keith was like, "You're in denial." I go, "Denial of what?" I go, "I don't think that everything's just going to be hunky dory when they come back. But if they were like 13-2 to start off the season, I think a lot of fans would just go, wake me up when April gets here." And there's probably still a good amount of fans that are still saying that. But
I'm seeing the tickets to tonight's game, which is the premier game in the NBA tonight. The league's second best offense is coming into town.
Kevin Durant in town?
Yeah, they were just eclipsed by the Nuggets, or they were the number one offense, and obviously the Cavs are not fully healthy.
What are the ticket prices?
I mean, you can get them with fees, like $13. There are a lot of tickets available.
You're kidding.
I think part of it is you just don't know who's going to play in these games. I mean, is Kevin Durant for sure going to play tonight?
You're kidding.
I mean, it stinks. Jabari Smith is on the injury report. Obviously, Darius Garland is on there. Tyson, Jalen Tyson.
But I like, because first off, you're getting a good look from all these teams. They're giving you your best. You're not just running through the Eastern Conference like you have. The Eastern Conference is not that great this year, and I think you've been the one beating the drum for that. I got to challenge Evan. I got to challenge my defense. The defense has been awful at times this year. I mean, which was the game I was ranting and raving against them the other night?
Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto was the game. Thank you. Their defense has been absolutely dreadful at times to start off this year. 15 games into this thing. And there's some things that they're going to have to work on. I don't think it's just fixed because Darius is out there. I think you see how much Darius helps, but I also think you see when you go to your bench and we're getting excited over Larry Nance, because Larry Nance is going to be an up and down type player. Ball is going to be an up and down type player. You're going to have guys that come. Sam Merrill is going to be an up and down type guy. Like, you have guys that I think we're trying to get excited for, but at the same time, I'm excited because I can see their development. I'm going to need those guys when I get ready to play in the postseason against the Knicks, against the Sixers, against the Hawks, against, I don't know if the Heat are going to be there, but I'm just saying names off the top of my head. I'm going to need those guys to do it. So I'm enjoying a bit of a struggle here. If somebody has a terrible injury, clearly I'm not rooting for that, because that'll kill you. But I need to work on things. We've had 2 real easy regular seasons here, and they've ended up in disgrace in the postseason. I got to work on these things. And yeah, you know what? It is nice to see some people freaking out over the regular season and getting upset over the regular season and going after some guys during the regular season, because I can't just sit here and talk about Shedeur Sanders every damn moment of my life. And I know you guys accuse me of it and accuse you of it, Tone, but I got to have some people to be upset about when it comes to the regular season and try to talk them off a ledge.
If you're looking for some positivity, Donovan Mitchell, and some people have tried to twist this into a negative, that he has been so dominant this year. So we already know about the 3-point shooting.
Because they want to see other people be dominant. I want to see Evan Mobley be dominant.
But hold on here, because Donovan is shooting a career-high 50% from the field. Previously, before this year, it was his first year in Cleveland, which was at 48%, and that was a huge improvement over even where he was in Utah, where he was spectacular. Last year, second team All-NBA. So Donovan has bailed them out. The reason they have this good record, despite their very, very mercurial play, is because Donovan has just been flat out bailing them out. And look, it's not like his usage has not gone up exponentially or anything like that. And his minutes, they're up 3 minutes over last year. So it is going to be something to watch because the goal this year was to have, let's be honest, we can talk about all the guys we want. The goal was to have Evan Mobley take the huge leap forward. Hasn't done that. He's had some big moments. He's had some big shots in the final 2 minutes and all that. But overall, over the course of a game, he has not had that domination coming out party that I think a lot of us were expecting when we listened to his trainer talk about him saying he could be the MVP one year. The Evan Mobley we've seen this year cannot be the MVP ever in his career.
Well, I'm fighting it. I want to wait until the first of the year. I heard our buddy Justin Rowan talking about it, and I'm fighting it. I want to wait until the new year starts to where I really start to lay it down. Now, there have been times where the other night, he got a lot better just the other night. The night before, he was absolutely dreadful. And I think that he's going to have a couple of ups and downs, like I mentioned with a lot of these guys, because I think he's struggling to find that role for him, to be that dominant type of player that I think they're going to need him to be to win a championship. But they don't just fall off of trees, and I said it to you yesterday, and I think this is going to be a deeper discussion at some point. I'd like to just make the finals. I think that making the finals is an accomplishment enough. I would be sorely disappointed if they made the finals and lost in the finals.
Well, the problem is
I'm not in fire everybody mode if they made the finals and then lost in the finals. Oklahoma City is an incredible team.
As I'm talking today, the way that for 4 years we talked about Golden State, that is Oklahoma City right now. And with defense from the top to the bottom of all their rotations they use, and they don't even have their second best player right now, and they look like one of the most dominant teams in NBA history. That's the hard part about this till we see this team with their full complement and Darius Garland in there, providing those easy opportunities for Evan Mobley. And if he's on the team by the end of the year, because judging by fourth quarters, it's tough to say whether Allen will even be here. But right now, it's tough because the way people are talking, in the last 2 weeks, I've heard people say that Evan Mobley has been passed up by Scotty Barnes and by Cade Cunningham. Now, Cade Cunningham has been sensational. He's averaging like 27 and 10 right now this year.
Well, it didn't help
Evan Mobley is not a guy that can go out and get 27.
Okay, it didn't help that he looked like... I'm not... Cade Cunningham, that's a different conversation. Scotty Barnes, it didn't help that he went out there and played really well, and Evan played like garbage the other night when they played against each other.
Scotty took it to him, but he's better than Scotty. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Cade, now he's a much better defensive player. Does the little things a lot better than Cade Cunningham. But as we know, come playoff time, it's about guys that can go get a bucket. And do you have trust that outside of Donovan Mitchell,
no,
the other guys are going to be able to do that?
No.
As we've seen.
No.
Even a healthy Darius, forget about last year. Even a healthy Darius has shown real struggles come playoff time. And so it gets interesting here because Detroit has now won 11 in a row. Remember, we beat their ass when we played them earlier this year. They've won 11 in a row, and people are going to start really talking about Cade and that team. And so it would be nice if we could get Darius back. The problem is they've been very quiet and mysterious about Darius, even go back to last postseason.
I'm good. Somebody else needs to be the flavor here. You got to put some sort of toughness into him in that way. The other part about Darius, I don't like that they've been very quiet about that, but I'm in no hurry to bring back Darius.
Right.
And it's such a weird thing to say because I got to trust their doctors, and their doctors were saying he wasn't hurried back. I just think he is what he is. He's been injured just about every single year. He's a slight guy. A toe thing, I don't know. That's just bad luck. That's a lot of stuff that just seems to be bad luck. I don't know if you're built, even if you're slight, to have a bad toe that you can't run on, but he's an injury. He's a very talented but injury-prone guard. That's what I have to deal with. But you're right. Even Darius, there's a little bit of a question whether or not he can just go out and get a bucket for you the way Donovan.
I promise you, I'm not going to overreact to what happens tonight.
I think you might.
I think we're only
You'll be there, right?
A 2-point dog tonight, a 1.5 dog. So it's a real testament to how the Cavs are at home and that home court advantage that they have.
You going to the game, though?
I am going. I am going tonight. I am.
You might overreact.
You think I will?
You got to feel it.
Well, I want to see Kevin Durant. Last night was the 23rd year debut for LeBron James, and he looked just fine. Kevin Durant this year, have you seen KD's shooting numbers?
Wait a minute, are you drinking tonight?
unofficially.
Okay, well, I'm taking the rest of the show off because I'm going to have to carry the whole thing tomorrow. So.
KD this year, he's averaging 26 a game. His three-point shooting, 40%. From the field, 51%. And it's all mid-range and beyond with guys in his face. He just elevates. He shoots over you. There's nothing you can do. I'm curious to see Evan because they got to make decisions with Evan tonight and their two big lineup. Like, is Evan going to be trying to bother KD on the perimeter, or is he going to be inside with Şengün, who has been a monster this year? It's a great matchup. I can't wait to see how they defend him.
216-474-0092. Cavs Surfside update brought to you by the fine folks at Surfside. Can I read Coach Lance's text to us real quick? And I apologize. I thought Coach Lance was on yesterday. But if he was on yesterday, and I should know this, we were so focused on somebody else's interview. He texted us, said the first 15 plays that script are where Kevin has always found success. In that script, they were where Kevin has always found success. And Tommy operates the same way. Those will be the calls Sanders knows best. Those are the plays he reps all week. They're going to be huge for him to find some early rhythm and confidence. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But there will be such a thing as adjustments.
But you watch. The people that don't like Shedeur will be like, scripted drive. Anybody can do it.
God, we've
seen bad quarterbacks with scripted drives. So that's coming.
Yeah, well, fine.
Get ready for that.
Fine. But this is bothering me so much because it's a guy who likes Shedeur and has been saying here all morning that I don't think it's going to go well on Sunday, guys. I think you guys better get ready for it. I'm going to be watching without any computers on because I'm just going to see it and let it wash over me. And I'm telling you right now, I hope it goes well during the scripted 15 because if it doesn't, we're in for a real bad day. I'm hoping against hope it goes well for us on Sunday and that I'm dead ass wrong. But those scripted plays, I'm hoping, because you're trying to unlock a defense and see what you can do. Can he find that confidence and rhythm then after they make those adjustments to then, throw hot. Yeah, stay in the pocket. Don't drift away and make your already tough situation tackles, make them have a tougher situation to be in. It's already pulling teeth with those tackles. I can't imagine it anymore.
And I'll say this.
Are we going to have Jack Conklin on Sunday?
Yeah. Who knows? I'll say this about Shedeur.
Boy, if you're rooting for Jack Conklin to be there Sunday, you are in a real spot.
I know. I'll say this about Shedeur. I didn't see any problems with him getting guys lined up or not knowing a playbook. Like, remember, that was supposedly what was holding him back. I mean, did you see any times where it was like, what is Shedeur doing? That guy's on the wrong. Normally, we've been attributing that to other people.
I'm feeling
they would have accused Shedeur of that had that been a problem, but I didn't see any problem with that.
Terry in Charlotte, North Carolina. You're next up on the fan. Hello, Terry.
Hey, guys. What's going on? I appreciate you having me on.
Glad to have you.
Real quick, I just want us to calm down a little bit, all right? Look, at the reality today, he did not play well. But if you watch some of the film reviews that have been taking place, there's a lot there to work with. I think the things you guys just said is really important. The scripted plays are really, really key for him to get in his rhythm, which, as we saw in the later half of that game, where he was outside of scripted situations, he has a great ability to improvise with his team in situations where he can find rhythm with players. I mean, when we look at some of the plays that happened in that second drive, you're basically, of course, the Gage Larvin catch away from having a different conversation, but outside of that, Harold Fannin had a drop that could have been a really big play. There's also a play where he threw a ball to Jared Judy, which was broken up by Uzier, but it was broken up because he threw the ball a little bit late, trying to adjust to the timing when he comes out of his break. There's a lot of things that are there that with a little bit of time, with a little bit of rhythm, working with his team, I think that we have something to build on, guys.
I would love to agree with you, Terry, but I think he's going to have, I mean, you say with a little bit of time. Are you talking about time to throw? Because he's got to get rid of that ball. He's going to have to get rid of that ball. That offensive line is not great.
Honestly, even on the pick, if you look at the pick, what happened there was essentially he was throwing with anticipating Jared Judy's break. The reality was Jared Judy shorted off his route from being a deep out to basically kind of turning right there on the spot. Because, A, he was hot, and B, he lost outside leverage. These are things that they're going to have to learn to get rhythm and some, build up chemistry with. But in reality, he's going to watch that tape, and instead of throwing that ball at Jared, he's going to hit the flat and then continue to move those chains.
Terry, thank you very much for the call. It does make me feel a little bit better. 216-474-0092. Coming up next, Coach Prime. Is he going to head to Vegas for his son's first game? He was asked that question. We'll hear from Coach Prime coming up in 5 on The Fan and about last night on The Fan.
Real estate market can...
priority right now.
The Kevin Stefanski Show, Thursday night at 7.
Your home for Browns football, 92.3 The Fan.
So much can happen around the globe that we never hear of.
Embarrassing. And we got to be better on defense.
It won't matter till April. I think we know that. Y'all gonna write us off. We could go 82-0. No one would care.
He's a piece of crap. The kid, he sucks. He's sucked his whole career.
I got rumors about him. How he couldn't please his wife, so now he's divorced.
Put a damn winning team on the field.
Now the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima give their thoughts on what you might have missed about last night.
Well, as we get closer and closer to the Browns matchup with the Raiders on Sunday, which is expected to be Shedeur Sanders' first official start in the National Football League, a big question for many Browns fans as well as many Sanders fans, will Deion be showing up to Vegas this coming weekend? Now, Deion was asked about this in his press conference yesterday for Colorado.
Don't know, haven't made that decision as of yet. I'm so focused on what we have at hand. I'm not thinking about that, although I just got off the phone with him a minute ago. But I'm really focused on what we have at hand.
Based on the confidence that we have here at the station, does Deion want to show up for his son on Sunday?
Well, of course he wants to show up for his son on Sunday.
I think
the real question
really
is, if you're
cool.
Shedeur, do you want the old man coming?
I think it would be really cool if he could do it. Their dynamic is so fascinating because it's played out on television over the years, dating back to when he was just starting out all this stuff and amassing such a fame. So I think so. I mean, when he went home and surprised his pops, that was a cool moment. I was wondering, what's the deal with the back injury? Should he be traveling and flying through the air? And then people are like,
I didn't.
He flew private. He's good. And he was getting all sorts of, therapy, rehab, and all that stuff. And now we haven't heard anything about the back, by the way. You notice that? It's gone. So I think it'd be a cool moment. I think it would be a really cool moment if he could be there for that game.
You can't fix the injury? We can't fix the injury?
People were alarmed.
What's that mean?
No, people were acting like this was going to bother him for the rest of the year.
Well, a back injury can be a bother, but and
then he got sacked all those times, and we haven't heard anything about a back injury.
You can't fix an injury? Can't rehab from an injury?
I was afraid for Dylan, and I was afraid for Shedeur with the hits they've been taking.
Never mind. Go right on ahead.
Speaking of Sanders, we have some new updates from the Medina Police Department with the updates regarding the robbery that took place at the Sanders household during the Browns' loss to the Ravens on Sunday. This is Medina Police Captain Eric Boers on the updates and how Sanders is dealing with the robbery.
Mr. Sanders obviously is concerned about his privacy. He is handling it pretty well. He's been pretty calm, been very cooperative with us. We are working feverishly to try to get some leads on this.
The sheriff's office estimates $200,000 in property was stolen, including designer bags, clothes, and hats. So it's a bit of a checkered time for Shedeur right now.
Somebody just asked in the chat if Mitch is my son.
Are you? Is there something you want to clue me in on?
I do talk to him I do say some things like, buddy, come on, let's go. I feel I'm talking to my son sometimes when I am talking to him.
He'll have some sit-downs, by the time you leave the station, he'll have some sit-downs with me, almost putting his hand on my arm, being like, it's going to be okay, son. You're doing all right.
I do a lot of hands on the shoulder. I do a lot of I don't touch you, but I do a lot of hands on the shoulder. I'm a huggy guy. I'm a handsy man.
I got to say, $200,000 is...
That's a lot of stealing.
I was going to say the opposite. Just because, do you remember Odell Beckham wore... quite literally a $1 million watch, in one of those football games. Did he do that as
an ad though?
Yeah, but
Richard Milley.
Yeah, did they deliver it and then take it away the minute the game was over? No. Did he get a chance to take it home? Because I imagine Shedeur, some of the watches alone, and the bags.
You guys,
do you know how much I don't know if he has a Birkin bag, but do you know how much a Birkin bag is?
I have no idea how much a Birkin bag is. I wear Duluth Trading Company pants. What are you talking about?
They don't do any handbags at Duluth?
No. How much is a Birkin bag, Tone? Tell everybody.
You can get up into the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Congratulations on all his success. Now,
so $200,000, were the thieves just in and out and didn't have time to find more, or does he not have all that much stuff there at the house?
I don't think you want to take your time while you're doing something like that, regardless of what you're saying.
So what they did at the Louvre.
Which is a bold move, by the way. If you were him, you'd be sincerely bothered by this. It's a violation of your privacy, your peace of mind. I imagine he has some family or somebody special living with him, and you wouldn't want to just live in a house alone, for the love of goodness.
And look where he's
I'd
living.
be really, really, really bothered by that.
He's all the way in Medina County.
Yeah, right near Highland, yeah.
He's probably thinking, I am nowhere near any what is perceived as a danger zone.
Exactly.
Like I'm gonna be safe.
Exactly.
I've got the neighbors looking out for me as well. I mean, who knows? They might have all been at the Browns game.
I was just there last Friday for a game. It was lovely down there. So yeah.
Wow.
What were you up to?
I was calling the Highland North Ridgeville game.
Do you have an alibi for Sunday though?
Yeah.
I can neither. Well, I'm going to be coming back from Columbus for the Buckeyes game.
No.
I don't see cat burglar with you. I see serial killer with you, if anything.
You know what? We agree.
Yeah. Kayla agrees. She knows.
Finally, here we have some clips from a guy that we talked about earlier in this show, Cade Cunningham. He was on Kevin Durant's podcast via Boardroom on Tuesday, and this is what he had to say about his draft story regarding the Cavaliers.
Whenever the lottery was happening, it started cutting down. I'm like, this final three is Cleveland, Houston, and Detroit. I'm like, don't let me go to Cleveland.
I mean, Cleveland and Detroit. I mean, what's the difference?
I don't know if it was the red and blue. I don't know if it was the hit like Isaiah Thomas. I was a big Bron fan growing up. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not trying to go to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Is Cade fan of the rivalry flames a little more?
Good. I like that. You know, honestly, because it's ridiculous. If he would have gone to Cleveland, he would have been saying the same thing about Detroit, right? Like that's. I think he's just. Yeah, for sure. I mean, do you think most NBA guys think there's a difference between Cleveland and Detroit?
No.
I mean, Detroit's a bigger city, but do you think they really believe there's a huge difference between the two?
No.
I mean, so I think this is fan the Flames a little bit. They've won 11 in a row. People are starting to say Cade Cunningham, if you're redrafted, would be number one again. Of course, he was taking number one. He's also taking a ton of shots. He's shooting a very, very low percentage from three, 27%. But he's fun to watch. He dictates everything that they do.
Cade Cunningham is from Arlington, Texas. You know who else is from Arlington, Texas?
Who's that?
One of the part owners of the Cleveland Cavaliers, Miles Garrett. Miles Garrett obviously loves it here. He obviously loves it here. He lives in a normal neighborhood. He has a bunch of people coming by his house for Halloween. He does up the yard every day. He's going to be here for the rest of his life. I don't know, Cade. Is Cleveland so bad? I'm not going to go start ripping on Detroit. I'm not going to lower myself. And I've been to Detroit. And I've enjoyed my times in Detroit, thankfully. But what are you ripping on Cleveland for? By the way, I did a event yesterday with Carson Swessinger from Los Angeles, California. Him and his family head over heels about Cleveland, Ohio.
Good.
Even off mics, like he's like, this is amazing. People are nice here. It's wonderful. Yeah.
They're also absolutely in love with him, and how could you not be?
He's excited.
He's a Pro Bowler, right?
He's excited about
Forget
the weather.
About Rookie of the Year.
He's excited about the weather, and he's like, I get to see leaves actually change color, and then they fall off the trees and things like that. And I go, yeah, I think there's going to be a time in late January you're going to change your mind. But
that's it for About Last Night.
Thank you very much. Outstanding as always. Really, that one was very outstanding. Jason Lloyd joins us at 9 o'clock to tell us the good news. Coming up at 8 o'clock. Coming up next, I should say, around the AFC North, Ken Wyman, 105.7 The Fan of Baltimore, James Rapine, Locked On Bengals in Cincinnati, and Andrew Filipponi, 93.7 The Fan in Pittsburgh. Is Aaron Rodgers' time done with the Pittsburgh Steelers? According to some Steelers fans, they want it to be done. Jamar Chase, was he in the right to be a spitter? And are the Ravens back on track? It's all coming up during Around the AFC North in 5 minutes on The Fan. Peter & Company Jewelers in Avon, LakePeterJewelers.com.
Well, the Cavs host the Houston Rockets tonight here in Cleveland. Don't miss the Browns preview show tonight, 7 o'clock, right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
All the Browns and NFL news you may have missed at work. The Afternoon Drive. Weekday starting at 2. 92.3 The Fan.
Nine o'clock, Jason Lloyd. Can the Browns do anything to help Shedeur Sanders between now and Sunday? Or are they destined for failure? Jason Lloyd going to join us at 9 o'clock. Right now, it's time to go around the AFC North. Remember, all guests appear on the fan hotline. And we welcome in the first one, Ken Wyman, 105.7 The Fan in Baltimore, as the Ravens get set to take on the Jets. You guys are playing the Jets on Sunday. Why don't they just put you in the playoffs now?
It's a fun run of games, isn't it? I guess you have to regress to the mean after taking on, the Chiefs, Bills, and Lions early.
Who you got after that? You got Temple on the schedule after that? What's going on?
Yeah, Tulane. The coach just said they're an average football team, so Ridiculous. They put the Ravens out into the schedule.
Fine. All right, Ken, obviously Myles Garrett deserves a ton of credit for helping neutralize Lamar, but what is going on with Lamar that he doesn't take off and run? And when he doesn't do that, his passing game is not remotely good enough for them to win 4 playoff games if he's not running and keeping defenses on their heels.
It's something we talked about on the show yesterday. Lamar Jackson, quite frankly, has not looked healthy all year. You go back maybe the first 3 quarters of the Buffalo game, but after that, he has not looked right, and I don't know if it's a combination of he doesn't trust the offensive line, which is awful, or there's something going on with the hammy or the knee. That very first play in the game Sunday was telling to me he couldn't beat Carson Schlesinger to the corner. At least he didn't think he could. And that kid's a stud. But Lamar Jackson's supposed to be the fastest guy on the football field, and he just said, I can't go into that extra gear. There's something going on there, and I don't know if he's saving it for when they play Pittsburgh coming up, or because with him, you never know. He's such an enigma. But I don't think he's been right all season.
Mark Andrews set a franchise record in that game on Sunday. How does the fan base feel about Mark Andrews after that, after what happened in the postseason? Is he still a fan favorite, or what is it?
Well, I think the reality is most fans are smart enough to know that this is his last year here. What's interesting about Mark Andrews, he's 4 catches away from being the all-time leader in receptions as well. He has as many postseason touchdowns as you and I. He's never, and the Ravens have played a lot of playoff football with Mark Andrews. He's never caught a touchdown pass in the playoffs. So while he's been a great regular season player, he has been basically a 0 in the postseason. I think fans love him. He'll be a Ring of Honor member one day, and he deserves it. But he has not shown up in the playoffs.
All right, Ken Wyman with us. I do want to ask you, anybody kind of annoyed or alarmed that they had to use that brilliant 4th down play in that game against the Browns of all teams? Isn't that one you would have rather had saved up for the playoffs?
Sure, but then but you play like hot garbage offensively, and you're kind of stuck. I do feel like Todd Monken set that up, running straight to the line the 2 plays before, knowing that their line is so bad they can't. When you go hat on hat, and this is something the last couple of years, even before Henry got here 2 years ago, usually if the Ravens go hat on hat, they push you back. Not anymore. You'd like to save it, but they're trying to win a football game. And we talked that Ken was on our show last week, and we're scenarios where the Ravens can lose this football game. Well, you give the ball to Cleveland multiple times, and they did that. Somehow their punt returner thought he was Willie Mays on a punt on Sunday. I'm going to go dive for a punt. Get away from the football. I think the defense keeping them out of the end zone for the most part saved them too. But they needed that play to win the football game.
Shedeur Sanders is going to start against the Ravens or against the Raiders on Sunday. How do you think it's going to go for him?
It's got to be better, right?
Okay, that's good.
And the Raiders are trash too. Well, Max Crosby's going to make for a long day. That guy's motor don't stop, but it's got to be better.
Does that mean it's going to be good?
Well, you and I both know it's not going to be good, but it can't. That was ugly. And credit to Zach Orr, because he's been passive at times this year. He brought everything on that kid, and he didn't know where guys were coming from. But at some point, it's got to get better. Though you guys, you have lived this for years now. Every time you think it's going to get better, something happens with Cleveland and their quarterbacks.
All right, Ken. Well, I didn't need all the rest of that. I just asked you about the game on Sunday, for crying out loud. Well, I really hope you don't make the playoffs right now, even though the NFL set it up so you do make the playoffs. Yuck it up. Laugh it up. Laugh it up. All right, fine. He's off the air now. 105.7 The Fans, Ken. What is that, Pony?
Get out, Ken.
Lord almighty. I thought it was Andrew Filipponi there. Let's go to James Rapine, LockedOnBengalsSI.com. There ain't nothing to laugh about down in the Queen City. They lost on Sunday, got hammered by the Steelers, and Jamar Chase looks like he's going to be out on Sunday. Do you defend Jamar Chase's actions spitting at Jalen Ramsey, James Rapine?
No, I can't believe that he let a washed-up Jalen Ramsey get in his head. Like letting Lima get in your head. Can't do that.
Sad state of affairs when that's happening.
Yeah.
I caught that, James. Thank you. Huh. All right, so with that being said, and now the full game suspension, where do you guys go from here? Because the Flacco thing, he looked injured, by the way. Did anything come out about his shoulder at the end of that one? And now what happens with Burrow?
I asked about Flacco, and Zach didn't say anything was wrong, anything more. But yeah, obviously, Flacco's less than 100%, and it's really the after effects. You think about that Jets game in the fourth quarter of the Jets game, all of the after effects of it. Flacco's injury is one of the big ones for sure. I would expect him to still be good to go on Sunday if they need him. The thing I'm wondering, guys, and it's just me talking out loud here and thinking out loud, is does Joe Burrow try to put on the Superman cape today, play 11 on 11, and then let everyone know, hey, I'm good to go Sunday against the Patriots without Jamar? It's not supposed to go that way, but I haven't completely shut the door on that.
Really?
Happening. Just knowing Joe, not saying that that's the plan, because that's a nightmare plan. Like, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't bring Joe back, Joe Burrow, that is.
Wait a second. You're making it seem like he can't play without Jamar Chase, and you're not ending some of the speculation that he'd be nothing with Jamar Chase. At some point, he's got to play without Jamar Chase.
I don't care about that. I'm just saying from a health standpoint, everyone was shocked a week ago when internally they were like, yeah, Thanksgiving, and you're 3-7, and you have a team coming into town that has won 8 straight, and he's going to have a metal plate in his shoe, and there's just no reason to risk. So yeah,
what's the point of coming back at? Well, I'm sorry. What's the point of coming back at all, James?
I agree.
It's point of life.
At this point, I agree. Yeah.
Why even do this?
Hey, nihilist.
Why even do it?
Why don't you relax?
You want to ask him about Shedeur?
Yeah. How do you think things are going to go for the Browns and Shedeur on Sunday, since he's starting against the Raiders?
Against the Raiders, 2 touchdowns and a win for the Browns.
Hey! Whoa! Are you serious, James? Here we go, Brownies! Here we go! Ooh, ooh. Wow! All right. Hey, I'm writing that down. Okay. James?
We got one believer.
All right. I like it. Why do you think that?
Well, part of it is the opponent now. The Raiders are awful.
That's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We're 2-8
But the other part of it is Shedeur Sanders will get number 1 reps. He'll get first-team reps, and no one will be able to say that. And I do think he'll look better. And that was a tough spot to be in.
So wait a minute. You're walking back 2 touchdowns and a win?
No, 2 touchdowns and a win.
Okay.
He's going to get first-team reps all week in practice, and he's going up against the Raiders.
Okay. 2 touchdowns and a win. I'll take James Rapine. Locked On Bengals down in Cincinnati. 2 touchdowns and a win. I would like. I would love to come in here. Would I be told I'm wrong then?
Ooh.
I think so.
You know what? Who cares?
I think so. Yeah, well, I'd love it. I'd love it. Please tell me I'm wrong on that. Andrew Filipponi, 93.7 The Fan in Pittsburgh, as they get ready to go to Chicago to take on the Bears at 1 o'clock on Sunday. Mason Rudolph or Aaron Rodgers? Who would you rather play, Andrew Filipponi?
Rodgers, but it's close. He's 12-3 all time at Soldier Field. He's dominated them. It's very reminiscent of how Ben Roethlisberger used to perform at Cleveland Browns Stadium. So, yeah, non-throwing hand break. Josh Allen played all last year with one of those and won the MVP. So I would say Aaron Rodgers, but I'll tell you what, this Mason Rudolph, man, he's probably the best backup quarterback in the NFL right now.
What an honor.
You know, I heard people say that stuff about Jake Browning. This comes and goes. Even your kid doesn't believe it.
Get your kid out of the phone.
Even your kid doesn't believe that.
Well, who is then?
You want to power rank them?
No, sure. We don't have the wherewithal right now.
How about
Steve
AFC North backup quarterbacks? Where's you rank?
Wait, say that again.
What?
I said, how about AFC North backup quarterbacks? This is around the AFC North.
That's
well, who's our backup? We've had 7 backups this year already in Cleveland. How could we even begin to measure?
Okay, so he's ahead of 7 of those. Anybody else?
Hold on. What is going on with this injury for Aaron Rodgers ultimately, though?
Yeah, what's happening?
How many games does he start the rest of the year?
He starts every game he wants to start because I think he made a deal with Mike Tomlin when he came here that it was going to be his job and his team. And I don't see Mike Tomlin having the balls to bench a 4-time MVP for Mason Rudolph or Will Howard. So he's going to play until he literally can't get out of bed and play football anymore.
What is it about the Pittsburgh Steelers that convinces opposing teams to try to commit physical assault against them?
What are you referencing from? Oh, you think getting spit on is physical assault?
I mean, can you sue somebody for assault? I have a lawyer texting me right now. Can you sue them for physical assault? Can you sue somebody for assault on your person for spitting on you?
Good question. I mean, Mason Rudolph didn't consider litigation against Myles Garrett, which I thought was a pretty magnanimous move on his part to let sleeping dogs lie and move on.
What are Pittsburgh fans sitting back and watching Myles Garrett become maybe the best defensive player in NFL history?
How does that feel?
How does that wash over the community?
How does that feel to be in the football version of the cuck chair?
Well, Ken disagrees with that, so...
What do I mean I disagree with that?
Well, you said that Myles Garrett was better than T.J. Watt because he beat him in a playoff game, right?
No, I say he's better than T.J. Watt for a lot of different things, not just that.
But that was when I said, Watt has better stats, and they had the same number of Defensive Player of the Year awards. You said, well, Myles Garrett won a playoff game and Watt didn't, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Well, who won when they played head-to-head this year?
The Steelers. That was a regular season game. Doesn't matter.
Oh, so it's only what you do in playoff performances against each other.
This has to be driving.
It's whatever works that bothers you, and you also know that it has to be bothering you.
It has to be bothering the whole Watt family.
Yeah, it has to be bothering all of them.
I'm not bothered right now. I mean,
you sound bothered. You sound real bothered.
I'm watching Zootopia with my daughter on the couch right now, Ken. I'm doing okay.
Wow, we got a real Jeff Schwartz over here.
What's that supposed to mean?
Don't you worry about that.
Wow.
You get the reference, Lima?
Shedeur Sanders, your thoughts?
Absolutely terrible on Sunday. One of the worst quarterback performances I've ever seen. I mean, what do you want me to say?
Do you believe, let me ask you this, do you believe, how well do you think things will go for him and the Browns on Sunday against the Raiders?
I think the Raiders are going to bench Geno Smith mid-game, and he's going to get beat out and outplayed by Kenny Pickett. How's that?
That's typical.
How do you like them apples?
It's something to watch.
That's not out of the question, boys.
What, that Kenny Pickett plays in the game?
Yeah, that could absolutely happen.
Great. Well, so what, his aunt's going to start tweeting at me again? She already does.
Pony, if they added 3 more hours of First Things First, would you be considered to join Danny Parkins and Nick Wright and a host of others?
Would I be considered to host?
I mean, Greg Jennings was on yesterday. So would you be thrown in the fire?
What's your problem with Greg Jennings?
Nothing at all. I'm just wondering how far down the pecking order till they think about one of their best friends, Andrew Filipponi. It seems like they love helping out their friends. When do we get to the point where they help out you? I think we're out of time. That's it for Around the AFC North.
Pony's still there, I think.
Oh.
Pony.
Yes.
Back on Zootopia.
Is Henry Ellard going to get on the show before you?
Goodbye.
Wow. Henry Ellard.
Welcome back to First Things First. Frisman Jackson in here before Andrew Miller.
Danny Parkins vouched for him, so he got to.
It's over.
He got to join
we're never
the 10th
getting
hour.
on it now. You know that. It's over
Just
now.
give us Christmas. Give us Christmas.
Nope.
You know they'd be worried. They'd be worried. Obviously, I'm not even saying they'd be worried about getting Wally pipped. That would just be a little too different.
You know I won Gas Bag of the Week on another radio show?
Excuse me?
Because of our fight we had?
No! Where? Where can we find this? Do we have audio?
Apparently, yeah. You're going to have to go root hogging. I thought you saw.
Mitch!
People were tweeting at us yesterday.
Oh,
like, Ken,
we need
you guys
this.
you won Gas Bag of the Week. I go, I don't know what Gas Bag of the Week is. I hope it's a good thing. Because you and I got into it on Monday after the game, and it went around. I'm going to send Albert a Christmas card.
This is why. We need Shador to play well this week.
As always, you can listen to this show and all of our local shows on 92.3 The Fan, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Take The Fan wherever you go. Listen to us on the Odyssey app, which is free, iHeart, or TuneIn apps. They're fantastic. You're going to love them. All right. Big thanks to Andrew Filipponi, Ken Wyman, James Rapine, all a part on the Fan Hotline, all a part of Around the AFC North. 40 minutes away, Jason Lloyd joins us on the show. Can he talk me into good things happening? Because I got a bad stealing feeling about Sunday. I'll explain it to you again if you're just joining us in 5 on the Fan. KC Roofing. KC.
on Avon Lake today. Discover stunning engagement rings and guidance from the jewelers where Cleveland gets engaged. Visit peterjewelers.com today.
There's only one place for a full recap of practice in Berea. Overtime with Jake Volnick. Weeknights at 7. 92.3 The Fan.
$7:45, Lima can fix the playoff, my friends. 8:45, sorry, it's 8:24, not 7:24. 8:45, Lima can fix the playoffs, my friends. Jason Lloyd going to join us at 9 o'clock. So I said earlier in the show, I'm not getting beat up as bad as I thought I would. I think it's a lot of people, and I'm thankful for it. It's a lot of people who, they've come to our show, they are Shador fans, and they're going, Ken, come on. Ken, and I'm going, guys, I'm telling you, I got to use your own words against you. And it's not just what Albert Breer said. It's Albert Breer wouldn't say it like that. I mean, I'll get the audio. I'm putting Kayla in a bad spot here. I'll get the audio again just to play it again. Like we just had around the AFC North. You had one person who was pretty bullish about the Browns. Pony's pony, so he doesn't count. I mean, Ken Winan basically started laughing at us from 105.7 The Fan in Baltimore. He's like, it's got to be better than what it was on Sunday. It's hard for it to get any worse. And my issue with it was going, hey, like, you guys don't like the coach. You don't like the system. You don't like the organization and how it's structured. And you gave the guy no reps, nothing before. And not, like even in the preseason, even in training camp, there was nothing there. And this thing's supposed to look really, really good coming up on Sunday in 3 days of practice. 3 days. And I've had football coaches texting me all this morning, not like, Ken, in your high school, but no. They are tuned in now. And I got guys saying, hey, like Coach Lance, who joins us, he was one of them, and he says, hey, or he joins the fan, I should say. He joins the guys in the afternoon, but not us. He says, it's the 15 plays. They're going to try to calm them down. That's going to be a big deal. And I'm like, okay, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. As a guy who wants Shador to do well, I hope that he's able to continue that, and I hope I'm wrong. But a guy who definitely is struggling with some of this and who did not get many opportunities before the season, I don't know how you're going to all of a sudden make this thing so much better in 3 days of practice getting ready for the Raiders. The best thing that people can tell me is that the Raiders are terrible, but they're still pros. I'd feel much different if they were playing Temple. I'd feel much different if they were playing Akron won yesterday, and I want to give them credit. I'd feel much different if they were playing Bowling Green. They're playing a bunch of pros, and their offense is bad. Their offense is also bad. But your defense, it's such a frustrating thing. And you guys go, Ken, why do you still care? Because I'm watching, guys, you're watching a championship level defense. This is a Super Bowl caliber defense. Your offense is one of the worst you've ever seen. And so your Browns defense end up, because I don't know what's going to show up on special teams. They were good last week. Who the hell knows what they're going to do against the Raiders? They were the worst that you could possibly find the week before against the Jets. You have a defense that's now going to play against the Raiders and then 2/3 of your own team. And that's not very good. And you guys don't like the coach. You guys don't like the offensive system. My chest is hurting right now. I hope I just have gas.
Oh, boy.
You're in not a good spot right now. Very, very, very bad spot. And it puts a guy who I like and I want to be successful in a bad spot. But Albert Breer goes on afternoon drive. Clip 4 there, Kayla. And he says things like this, and I go, well, what do you mean you don't see what they see in Shador?
It doesn't seem like whenever I ask somebody that question, I'm sort of still searching for people, what people are going on at this point. Draft position, like the NFL told you what they thought. He winds up, being at the bottom of the depth chart. And then, you see some of these things happen over the course of time. And, he gets in because the Browns were down to the third guy and the third guy got hurt. And then he gets in the game and doesn't look good. I'm struggling to see exactly what people are wrapping their arms around right now.
Hope that a very popular QB will change this and fix this. Hope that a guy who has so many fans will be right and will change our entire, because we've tried just about everything. And the last thing I think we have anymore as Browns fans is luck. So we're hoping for luck, but you have to really make your own. And I think that in a lot of ways, there's so many things that you can't fix getting ready for Sunday. I think it's going to go poorly. I think it's going to go really poorly, and I hate to say it. I hope I'm wrong, because Albert Breer went with this because he was so, and again, guys, you have coaches in the NFL speaking through Albert. This isn't just Albert saying it. This is Albert in so many ways regurgitating what a lot of coaches have been saying. That's a terrible way to phrase it. I understand that. But that's him kind of repeating what a lot of coaches have said. I mean, this was the back and forth with Afternoon Drive just yesterday.
Those plays where he drifts and now all of a sudden he's like screwing his tackles over, right? Like, so his tackles are kind of blocking to a spot and he is like backing into that spot. Those plays have resulted in big hits. On other plays, he's getting pressure from the middle. Do you trust that this week all of a sudden he's going to start stepping up in the pocket, or is he going to reinforce bad habits?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what the practice is for now.
I mean, can you simulate that in practice?
Against Myles Garrett and Mason Graham, I think he might be able to.
In a week? Well, do you think that bad habit that he had for 4 years in college is going to be solved in a week of practice? I don't know.
I feel bad for Nick because Nick was like, I think with Mason Graham and Myles Garrett, yeah. It's like, in a week you're going to do that after 4 years of college?
And it's not really...
I was with you, Nick.
It's not really a week. Like, yeah, he might have been in the building yesterday and the day before. I mean, they were off yesterday, but he might have been in the building.
He's probably in the building.
Yeah, I would imagine so. You're the starting quarterback. Act like it, right? I imagine he was. But you're not doing practice. You're not actually going up against anybody until today.
Yeah.
And then we have tomorrow, and then Friday is going to be, we're not sure what kind of a day Friday is going to be.
Guys,
so that's it. That's all you get. So here's what I wonder, because there's no doubt what we have said about the two quarterbacks. It's really unfair. It's been a half of football. And Dylan Gabriel, it's also kind of unfair to just act like his 5 full games or 4.5 games are his career. But it's not looking good for Dylan Gabriel, obviously. But the thing is, what we've noticed the differences is, hey, look at what they're tasking Dylan Gabriel to do. The lowest ADOT in the league. People are becoming familiarized with that term, but it's depth of target.
Jonathan brought it up to him yesterday, yeah.
It's dinking and dunking. Like, there's just a fancier way to say they're only going short on any of these, and there hasn't been a lot of hope. We finally did see him start to take off, finally, but it also might have led to him getting hurt. But with Shedeur, what we said we liked about him was, hey, look, they're going vertical. My question is, Kenny, will they trust him now with a week of practice to go vertical if they think he's got these bad habits? Because if they think he's got these bad habits, how often are they truly going to send him in those situations?
Then I might find myself agitated. Like, you got to lean into what he's comfortable with. You have to.
Is that the freelancing, though? That people are
I'd like
worried
to say that
about?
You're just not going to put this guy. You're in a situation. I think everybody's in a situation they'd rather not be in. I think that Shedeur is starting before he's ready. I think he's starting before the Browns are ready. And to try to turn him into some sort of robot is going to make it even worse. Like, that's what I'm bringing up to everybody. I know a lot of people hear it and they just hear hater, liar. No. I ask you, as I came to this conclusion of what I think is going to be on Sunday, which I think is going to be a pretty rough day for everybody involved, including Browns fans, what do you think of the coaching staff? What do you think of the organizational structure? You guys don't think much because you've been ranting and raving about it for the last 6 months. So if you've been ranting and raving about how this whole thing is set up in the last 6 months, you can't tell me you feel great unless you just believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that he can rise and overcome all of this. But you also believe that they hold him back. So you also have a belief that they're going to hold him back on Sunday, do you not? How can you think that this is going to go exceptionally well? It can go better than what it did against the Ravens because it has to. It has to. I pray that I'm wrong. I don't want him to fail. I don't. I'm so tired of talking about all these other QBs. And I look at the guys in college and I'm like, well, there's always good. I'm tired of having these arguments. Now I'm getting angry and I'm going to get loud. I'm sorry. Let me pull it back. I'm tired of having these arguments. This isn't fun. This isn't fun. It's not fun to have to sit here and dust off the same old crap that I was talking about in 2011. It's not fun to do that. I don't like it. Don't you? Doing the don't you get it thing again. I'm tired of doing the quarterback thing all over again. I want him to be successful. But they get in their own way. They put people in bad situations. They fail, and we go, I can't believe this guy is failing. Really? We can't believe they're failing? Drifts out of the pocket. Let's give him the worst of offensive tackles we could possibly find. That's going to work. I mean, we're hoping Jack Conklin can go on Sunday.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of Jack Conklin to begin the year? Hope I'm wrong. Really hope I'm wrong. I think that the Raiders can beat themselves, and I hope he takes advantage of it. I really, really do, because I am so tired of hoping against hope for something that ain't going to happen. And I don't want any of the other guys to be. I don't want Bailey Zappi or Deshaun Watson out there. Good God, no. No. Give me a chance with Shedeur. And I just don't know if he's got that. Terry in Euclid, hello.
Hey, what's happening, man?
Hi, Terry.
Hey, this is the thing. First of all, you got to ask yourself, they're talking really out of both sides of their mouth. You got to ask yourself, why would you cut two veteran quarterbacks if you thought Shedeur didn't have it?
You traded him. You traded him.
Right. Well, that's what I mean, trading. Why would you trade it? Why would you get rid of two veteran quarterbacks if you thought Shedeur wasn't the answer? And the other thing is, it's telling me that maybe you think he is the answer, and why would you not give him the tools to be successful up to now? You know, and also, if you look at it, Shedeur is going to get the ball down the field, whether they like it or not. He's going to throw the ball down the field, and that's the pro offense. And the last thing I want to ask you is, when you look at all the quarterbacks in college right now, which one of them can you say has a better skill set than Shedeur? And I can say one, and that he's not coming out yet, and that's the guy at Ohio State.
Who? Oh, Fernando Mendoza isn't better?
I don't think Fernando Mendoza is better. I don't think
Mendoza,
better.
We did talk to somebody. Well, that's part of it. We did talk to somebody yesterday, Jordan Reed, who said right now, I think he has two quarterbacks with a first-round grade.
And I'll tell you this.
And Mendoza was one of them.
Terry, let me go back to all of this, though. I mean, you say how could they trade the two veterans if they didn't think that Shedeur had it? They could trade the guys just to make sure that they get a look at the players out there, and so you don't have to go out there and have to get a look at Deshaun Watson at any time soon, and you play guys that people are excited about. I mean, everybody's telling me that the season isn't about winning, so it's got to be about what? It's got to be about interesting football. Lima led off the show. We'll do things just to make it interesting. The Browns do things all the time just to make things interesting. They talked about a redshirt year. They talked about not playing him until basically the end of the season, and now all of a sudden he's starting against the Raiders. And that's the best thing I can say. He's starting on the road against the Raiders, and the Raiders are terrible. That's the best thing. They traded guys for picks. They're trading things for the future. They probably don't believe in any of the four quarterbacks that they had. Maybe
when I talked to you before the season, I told you that Joe Flacco, whether he was 6-0 or 0-6, was not going to be good for this team going forward. Remember, I don't know. You probably don't remember that, but that's the thing.
I actually do. I actually do vaguely remember. So what is the issue?
The issue is that if they thought that Shedeur, the whole thing, the bottom line is, if they thought Shedeur is not ready and not the quarterback that they thought he was, then they shouldn't have got rid of the better quarterback.
No, that's not true at all. This is the same group and some of the same people and some of the same leftover thinking that also traded away. Terry, thank you for the call. They traded away Brock Osweiler, they cut Brock Osweiler so they could get the second round pick. And then who did they put out there? Who did they put out there? Deshaun Kaiser. Deshaun Kaiser wasn't ready for that. Dobbs wasn't ready. The Dobbs trade, no one was ready for that. They don't care. It doesn't matter if they know he's ready. They're just going to put him out there. And then we'll all sit there and get mad at each other and cuss each other out. Over what? Because the guys weren't ready to play? They've done this before. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, 5th rounder, had to go out there and start. Didn't know 90 minutes before he started. Didn't know 90 minutes before he started.
People forget that's on the resume of this organization.
At least this guy has a head start. But they've let go of guys who were veterans before. They didn't sit there, and if they did think that Deshaun Kaiser, and by the way, Andrew Berry was a part of that front office at that time that evaluated Deshaun Kaiser. He evaluated Deshaun Kaiser, and they just put him out there. They're not above just, here you go. Here's a guy. Here's a warm body. Put him out there. They're not above that. 216-474-0092. Lima, you got to fix all this?
I do.
Not talking about the Browns, by the way.
We saw the college football rankings come out yesterday, and there was one thing I looked at on that bracket, and I'm like, ooh, they need to fix this.
5 minutes away on the Fan.
Anthony Lima.
92.3 The Fan has the most local sports talk in town, and you can be a part of it anytime you want. Weigh in on X at 92.3 The Fan and see if our hosts make your reaction a part of our shows. Powered by Scheiben Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store.
Going to the Cavs game tonight? Get the starting five during afternoon drive. And make overtime your post-game soundtrack as you head home. 92.3 The Fan.
Jason Lloyd, 9 o'clock. We also have I Won a Major Award, apparently. That's coming up at 9:45. And Lima has a fix for the college football playoff. I got to get right to the phones here. 216-474-0092. I don't think Sunday is going to go very well for Shedeur or for the Cleveland Browns for a multitude of reasons. Rudy in Florida, you're next up on The Fan. Hello, Rudy.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Wonderful, Rudy. Go ahead.
So, I get what you're saying. The only thing that gives me confidence, and I see a lot of people are glazing over this, is the fact that the final drive, he didn't get worse. He actually got better. So wouldn't that suggest that he was settling in and getting his confidence? Because I understand if he started off the game like he started off that
he's running for his life. He had to run for a couple of first downs there. That's comfortable. Yeah, I mean, he had to run for a first down. He was launching to the end zone, had to drift. There's a lot of things he just had to do. He made a great play when you had a guy naked blitzing right on him. I thought for a second he was going to get his head taken off. He made a great play to get out of there, but I don't know how comfortable. I don't think he was comfortable at all during that series. I don't think he was comfortable at all during the second half.
So, I mean, he came into the second half. So yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. He was not comfortable when he first came in, absolutely. But I'm talking about that final drive. You cannot tell me he did not look comfortable in that final drive. I
just told you he did not look comfortable in the final drive.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
if he was that comfortable, he hits Isaiah Bond in the end zone.
Well, again, with that, I watched a lot of Colorado games. If a quarterback is not comfortable, a quarterback is not going to be directing traffic down the field. If you've seen him and Isaiah Bond,
but I watched comfortable Shedeur in college. Actually, there was a lot of times they did what they could to make him uncomfortable. I watched him be better than a lot of defenses he played. I watched him be comfortable. I also saw him be able to do that and actually hit guys in the end zone. If he was comfortable, we'd have probably won that game. He'd have been able to hit Isaiah Bond.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Him and Isaiah was not on the same page because if in college, if you watched him, he didn't necessarily have to direct his receivers because him and Xavier Weaver was on the same page. Mm-hmm. Him and Jimmy Horn Jr. was on the same page. Him and LeJohntay Wessler was on the same page.
And
so,
Rudy.
Yeah.
He practiced every day. He practiced every day. He worked with those guys. I mean, we made an argument that he was on the same page with Gage Larvadan because it's like the only guy he had a chance to throw to. Jerry Jeudy was saying he said he had never caught a pass. Like, I'm not arguing about Shedeur. Rudy, I like Shedeur. Okay, you know that.
Right.
But I'm arguing against the entire setup here. I hope I'm wrong. I'm saying against the entire setup, I don't know how it can be successful. Other than just hoping it can be successful. And I hope it's successful. I hope I'm dead wrong on Monday and I get to celebrate a win and everybody calls up and goes, Ken, you were wrong. I can't believe how wrong you were. I really do. I hope, Rudy. But you don't feel good about the way that this situation has gone. I know you don't. So how all of a sudden am I going to think that this is going to be really successful on Sunday?
Ken, I get what you're saying. You're basing it off the whole system, but when we talk about Shedeur, we do not talk about the whole system. We talk about strictly Shedeur. Abba Greer was talking about strictly Shedeur. You understand what I'm saying? He wasn't talking about necessarily how the whole system needs to be better around him. He was strictly focusing on Shedeur. And trust me, Ken, I'm kind of a neutral party. I've watched Colorado just because I'm a college football fan. You understand what I'm saying?
Rudy,
so I cut it from both sides.
I'll tell you right now. Because I know, and Rudy, thank you for the call. I hope you call again soon. I mean this sincerely. I got to let you go. I'm not a neutral party. I want the Browns to do well. I want Shedeur Sanders to do well. I don't think it's going to happen. Again, you mentioned the wide receivers he had in college. He knew those guys. I mean, good God, he and Travis Hunter, best friends. But we were remarking 6 months ago, he's having to throw to ball boys. And then in training camp, he doesn't get any reps. He has to just stand there. And everybody's mad over all the things that he didn't get to do. And then they go into the regular season, and we just got done screaming at each other, Anthony, about first-team reps, and he didn't get them, and Dylan Gabriel did, and all this, and it's going to be fixed in 3 practices? I hope it goes well. I got people going, Ken, you're giving up on Shedeur. I'm not giving up on Shedeur. I'm being as realistic about the situation as possible. They're not putting him in a position to be successful. I don't think he's in a position to be successful, and I don't think Sunday is going to be very successful. And anybody who knows me knows it kills me to say that, to admit such a thing. How can you fix college football?
All right, pairings came out last night, or at least just the next rankings, and you see the full bracket. They still have Miami in, they were in a tough predicament. If Texas A&M would have lost that game, that they had a miraculous come from behind, because that's another team that beat Notre Dame. What were they going to do in Notre Dame? So I find it interesting. They've got Ohio State as still the 1 seed, Indiana number 2, and Ohio State playing the winner of Notre Dame and Oklahoma. Obviously, things are going to shift, but they did away this year with the automatic buys for the top conference champions, which was good. That was a step in the right direction. However, the issue I see here is Ohio State could be playing Indiana in the Big Ten championship, and that game, by and large, might not mean that much outside of, hey, you win that game, you're undefeated, and you win the Big Ten.
Heisman Trophy implications.
And the
it's
Heisman.
on the 6th. They got to have him in by the 8th.
That's a great point. The Heisman, but in terms of who wins and who loses, one will just get the 1 seed. The other, they'll both get buys right now as constituted. And I know one way you could change that, and because I get nervous. What if Carnell Tate is kind of, I'm 70%, why would I play in this game? Well, what if you just simply reseeded like the NFL? Because then it would matter. Then the number 1 overall seed would matter, because if there's an upset in the first round, like let's say Tulane upsets Texas Tech, you get Tulane instead of, hey, right now they play the winner of Oklahoma Notre Dame.
I like this idea.
Because
I really like this.
Oregon got screwed last year.
Yeah.
Oregon had the number 1 overall seed, and they had to play Ohio State.
You're right.
In the second
they should
round.
Get the easiest route.
And that was ridiculous.
The easiest route to it.
I mean, I was happy about it because we steamrolled them. I didn't know that we would steamroll them. And Dylan Gabriel was the quarterback in that game. Did not look very comfortable. But I do think they need to think about reseeding.
Boy, the chickens always come home to roost, don't they? I love that idea. That's a much better idea. Much better idea than the 2014 playoff that they were discussing yesterday.
Oh, my God.
You were so right.
What is the point of
bracket
that other than money?
Bracket
more money.
creep. Like you got something okay with the 4. I could do 12. 4 more is it. 6. Anything more than 16 is ridiculous. I think any Ohio high school football fan would know anything more than what they've been doing is going to be absolutely ridiculous. Coming up next, Jason Lloyd going to join us 5 minutes away from The Athletic. Can the Browns do anything to help Shedeur Sanders between now and Sunday, or is this destined for failure? Jason going to join us at 9 o'clock, and a major award apparently for me at 9:45 on The Fan.
Anthony Lima.
Reese joins me for the call of the Bills at the Texans on Thursday Night Football.
The radio home of the NFL in Cleveland is Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Let's go to the fan hotline and welcome in Jason Lloyd. He penned an article from The Athletic. Opened up Pandora's box to a lot of different things about this setup with the Cleveland Browns and why Shedor's playing already. And he joins us right now on the fan hotline. Jason, good morning to you. If Kevin Stefanski had his way, who would be playing quarterback right now getting ready for Sunday against the Raiders?
Oh, jeez.
With Dylan Gabriel injured, with him still with a concussion, who would be playing quarterback?
Given who he's picking from here, Shedeur and Zappe?
Throw Deshaun Watson in there. What the hell?
Oh, man. Boy, you're really coming out guns blazing. Who do I... Truth serum, who do I think Kevin would want playing? I would probably have... Oh, God. You're going to turn this into a clip on me. I could see it already.
Just answer the question. You don't even check your mentions, so just answer it.
I took Twitter off my phone. I don't even have it on my phone.
Wow.
It's a beautiful life.
Tough talking, Jason.
Yeah, probably Bailey. If I'm being honest, probably Bailey.
Okay. So this is my thing. I came to a conclusion yesterday and this morning. I woke up at 1 o'clock this morning. Many people know I'm a Shedeur fan. They're saying I'm a turncoat right now. I'm being called a Benedict Arnold. Because
join the club.
I just think, well, no, I like Shedeur, and that's why I'm so nervous about Sunday, because I'm like, I don't see it going well for him. I could see them actually still winning because the Raiders are terrible, but I just don't think it's going to go very good at all. Like, none of this makes sense. I'm trying to hurry an off-season of work into 3 days, and to make this easier, this is not a good setup, and it's not about him as much as it is about the Browns this year. Like, this is not the way you treat rookies.
No, I mean, that last thing is the most important thing. One is, how often does a third-round rookie quarterback and or a fifth-round rookie quarterback ever have success in the NFL? Like, incredibly rare. Rarely are they even on the field, let alone having success. So, like, what's the bar you're talking about? I think Shedeur's going to look better than he did Sunday next week. I mean, the Raiders are terrible.
Well, I'd certainly hope so.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's degrees to this. Is he going to go out here and throw for 300 yards and put up 30 points? Highly doubtful. And that's not even all. Like, the thing I've been screaming all year, and no one really cared and just kept saying fire everybody. But now suddenly, I think the Shedeur fans care. Is like, the tackles are the worst in the league, and I don't have the updated numbers, but this was as of a few weeks ago. They haven't changed. Slowest receivers in the league, or among the slowest receivers in the league. They don't create separation. They don't make catches in traffic, and they drop first downs. Now, the first down drops have actually seemed to have gone away. You know, we haven't been screaming about the drops quite as much here the last few weeks, but this is a horrendous offense in general. So what quarterback is going to come in here and have success? So that part of it isn't even on him. That's just what he has to work with around him that's setting him up for failure. And then you mix in his strengths and his shortcomings. And yeah, no, it's really hard to get a fair evaluation on any of these guys because of the state of the offense. But, you know, everything that we were told, everything that we were saying in the pre-draft process, you saw unfold. Yeah, it was only 2 quarters. Yeah, it was 1 half. The alarming part is everything that we heard bad, you saw with your own eyes immediately. Doesn't know what he's looking at, holds on the ball too long, turns his back. Like, trifecta. 1, 2, 3. You saw it all. So, like, that's why he fell, guys. It's not a conspiracy that the NFL has against him. It's not the Browns try. Like, we have heard, there have been so many stupid things said, just totally irrational, dumb, emotional things said over the last 6 months. And I left Sunday going, okay, well, there you go. Now you saw it. Now you've seen it for yourself. Like, that's why. That doesn't mean he can't have a successful NFL career. I would never say after 2 quarters a guy is or is not going to have a good career in the NFL. The only thing I've said all year is he's not ready right now. The best thing he could have done and should have done would be to go to Baltimore or Philly, and they didn't want to do that, so now here we are.
All right, Jason, with your reporting over the last few days that Kevin Stefanski had been telling members of the organization that the plan was to redshirt Shedeur, The organization still paved the way by eliminating guys ahead of him so that he would be played. Was there a conflict within the organization? Are there two distinct sides of this? One saying he shouldn't play this year, the other saying we're going to make sure that he gets on the football field.
Yeah, I can't answer that definitively. You can certainly build that case, but I can't sit here and tell you with clarity absolutely yes or absolutely no. I don't know. But if you watch, and that's the thing that has baffled me throughout all of this, is the way that they handled trading the veterans. I didn't understand why they traded Kenny Pickett. We talked about that. It didn't make sense to me because he pulls his hamstring. You're going to trade him? Like, really? He's a veteran quarterback. I think he can miss a couple of weeks and be okay. So that's the one that, and like when they signed Flacco, I told you guys when they signed Flacco, I don't understand this. I don't know why you're signing a 40-year-old quarterback. Like, what is the upside in this? This is a bad football team. Now, you can build the case, and this part makes sense. Like, okay, you've got two veterans in the room now that are on cheap deals. You've got Pickett, you've got Flacco. And they're not costing you a lot of money because you can't afford a lot of money on a quarterback right now because of the cap situation. We don't even need to get into all that. We all know why. So, okay, you got two veterans. One's going to start. One's going to be the backup. They can at least hold down the room. They are professionals. They know how to go about their business and handle their business. There'll be a good presence in the locker room. Okay, now you've taken the project quarterback in the third round in Dylan. He's not going to have to play right away unless things really get weird because you got two veterans in front of him. Okay, there's our quarterback room. Drive home from the draft Friday night from Berea feeling pretty good about where things stand. And then all of a sudden Saturday morning, like, you know what? Let's take Shedeur. And that threw a grenade into the room that blew the whole thing up because now all of a sudden, now you're running these crazy practices where you've got four quarterbacks and you're going on two fields, and now you're trading the veterans because you got to see what you've got in these rookies. When for 24 hours, if you pull out and you look at it, for 24 hours, they had a decent plan. Now, I have heard nobody say Dylan Gabriel is going to be the franchise quarterback for this team for the next 10 years. So if you want to kill him for spending a top 100 pick on a backup quarterback, go right ahead. But the point was, when they left the draft after night 2, they had two veteran quarterbacks and a project third round and third string quarterback who they could bring along slowly, see what they have in them. And then more than likely they would revisit quarterback in the draft again this coming year. It sounds fine in theory. Like, okay, I can get that. I can get behind that. It's when they woke up Saturday and said, nah, let's take Shedeur. That's when everything started to get weird.
Jason Lloyd joining us from The Athletic. So again, for Kevin, I mean, you said he'd probably play Zappy right now. How does he plan on going about getting Shedeur ready this week? Because that's my whole thing. I'm going, man, I just don't trust the setup. It ain't even about the quarterback. I don't trust the setup. I didn't think it was fair to Dylan either.
No, I agree. There's no talent on this offense. Now, what you got in your favor, it's a road game, but it's not really a road game because the Raiders don't have very good crowds there. The Raiders are an awful football team. So, you know, this is a very winnable game. And if he can make some throws early and get some confidence, set him up with some quick, easy throws, keep things very simple, and give him an opportunity to play to his strengths. And he made a couple of throws Sunday that I thought were terrific. Everybody's like raving about the Fannin throw, and I get it. It was a good throw. That to me, that's also just a normal standard NFL quarterback play. The pocket held for him for once. He had a clean pocket. He stepped into the throw. He made a great throw to a wide open receiver in the middle of the field. I like the Larvadain throw in the corner, and I heard Albert yesterday saying that was a terrible decision because he was covered and it should have gone to the flat and Judy. Okay, fine. Yeah, you can make that. I've seen the film breakdowns. He should have gone to Judy. Fine. Just being able to see, like, I got one-on-one on the outside. I'm going to put a ball up and let my guy go make a play. Now, granted, you probably know your personnel. That's Gage Larvadain. It's not Jerry Jeudy, who hasn't even been all that great. You know, if it's Jamar Chase out there, you give it to him every time and you let him go make a play. I'm just saying the ball placement, the way he threw it, I thought that was a terrific throw. Personally, I thought that was his best throw of the night. So there are tools that you can work with. It's everything else that you have to sort of mitigate and cover up for right now because he's a little bit raw in NFL systems. So, you got to simplify things. He's got to get it out quick, can't hold on to the ball, And you're right. How do you clean up? Like, this has been an issue for 4 years, and you're going to fix it in 1 week with 3 practices? No, probably not. But, this is why I thought it was a bad idea to play him against the Ravens when the whole thing of, that's enough of Dylan. Let's start Shedeur. I'm like, I'm not putting him out there. I would not want to put him out there against Baltimore's defense because they're going to blitz the crap out of him, and that's exactly what happened. The Raiders don't blitz a ton. You're probably going to see that.
They will this week.
I think they will this week.
Right. Yep, you're right. They will, and they're going to try and confuse him. They're going to disguise looks. They're going to put 8 on the line, drop 2, and he's got to figure out which 2 are dropping, and we'll see. So, am I expecting brilliance? No. Am I expecting improvement from what we saw Sunday? Absolutely.
Jason Lloyd, join us right now. All right, you're not looking into a camera right now. We are. But we have our audience of Shedeur fans around the country. They're going to be listening very closely to this question and answer right now. So I will ask you point blank, Jason Lloyd, how well does Shedeur Sanders have to play in his allotted time the rest of the season for the Browns not to take a quarterback in the first round with one of their 2 picks?
I mean, he would have to play abundantly well. He would have to make it. And he would have to make it abundantly clear, you don't need to go looking any longer. I am your answer. And that's going to be hard because of the pieces around him, because the pieces around him are not very good. Flacco couldn't make it work. Dylan Gabriel couldn't make it work. And now it's on him to do it. So, I mean, I've thought all year they're going to go back and revisit quarterback again next offseason. This was always a 1-year bridge. Last year's quarterback class was horrendous. And they had the 2nd pick in a 1 quarterback draft, as my buddy Zach has often said, and it's hilarious and it's true. Like, that's Cleveland. They got the 2nd pick in a 1 quarterback draft. What other quarterbacks from this class have been great? You want Tyler Shuck? Well, then you have to give up Quinshon Judkins or Schlesinger off this team to get him. So, like, there just was nothing to pick from. So, I mean, they got a handful of games left. If he goes out and absolutely dominates, and if he balls out Sunday and plays like, we are not expecting, if he does throw for 300 and hang 30 on them, yeah, he's got the job for the foreseeable future, I think, for at least another couple of weeks, for sure, regardless of how anyone thinks or feels. Because if you can make it work with this mess, all credit to you, because nobody else has been able to figure it out. But to win the job for the end of the year, he's going to have to win multiple games. He's going to have to beat teams that we don't think are games that they would win otherwise. And he's going to have to be the difference maker. And I don't know how realistic that is or not, but if you're asking me what has to happen, that's probably what has to happen.
Lloyd has us just staring into the ether right now with that answer, because that to Shedeur fans are going to be like, well, what was the point of this whole situation? Why were we drafted? Because they don't think he was a 5th rounder.
There's another question I want to ask.
They think he was Mel Kiper's number 1 on the board at one point. So they can't get it out of their head that he slipped, and they allege it's this whole vast conspiracy that all the teams got together and said they weren't going to draft him. Does that make you fall to 5, though?
Why? Why was there this grand conspiracy? Why did nobody want him? Why, at the most important position in the league where teams are desperate to get a game changer and a franchise pillar, why would they turn their nose to him if they thought he was that good? The Browns have been desperate for a quarterback for 25 years. Why would they sabotage a kid at the position they need most of anything?
They wouldn't do it on purpose.
It is nonsense.
Well, that's true.
They might do it on purpose.
They might do it by accident.
Yeah,
sure.
I think they've done it on accident, but I don't think they do it on purpose.
And that's why I don't see a path for him here to be the guy. And Lonnie kind of said, like, yeah, I think they're going to revisit quarterback again in the offseason. The best thing could have been for him, go to Baltimore, go to Philly, go sit behind an MVP. A Super Bowl MVP or a league MVP.
That would have angered him, too, because he would have sat out the whole year.
Well, yes, and he probably would sit next year, too. And you know what? After sitting for 2 years, maybe they correct some of these things. And then the PR machine starts. And then they start leaking to the league mouthpieces about how great Shedeur looks. And then they trade him, they work with him and trade him into a situation where a team needs a quarterback, where he would be set up for success. And then you press launch on the button, and now he's ready to go. Like, it would give him the best opportunity to have great success. Again, I am not saying Shedeur Sanders will never be a great quarterback in the NFL. I don't know if he will be or not. I just know from everything I have heard since they took him, he's not ready now. And when you're not ready now, you're expecting a franchise that has not developed a quarterback in 25 years. You're trusting them to develop them as a fifth-round pick? Whatever give you the belief, they had the number one pick. Multiple times they've had first-round picks, and including the number one pick, obviously, in Baker. So what makes you think that this organization would be the organization that would develop a fifth-round pick? I just don't see the path for him here.
League mouthpiece, who are you taking a shot at? Come on, Jason, answer the question, tough guy.
I got a couple people in mind, but you're not getting me on this one.
Are we going to see Deshaun Watson this year?
I'm going to stand by my answer. You better not. I don't care who you
That's an opinion. That's an opinion. I need an answer. I need an answer of what you think is going to happen.
That's my answer. You better not.
No, it's not. No.
Then here's the answer. Your owner has now come out twice. He doubled down on it, saying it was a mistake. How do you put him back out there when your owner has said twice it's a mistake?
Can I ask a counterpoint?
Go ahead.
What's it matter in the last 2 weeks of the season, especially if they're trying to lose?
What's Jeff Driscoll doing? Go sign Jeff Driscoll. Put him back out there. And I've heard like Albert say you're trying to get something for your investment. No, the investment's gone. And the fact that he's even still on the roster is a disgrace. Like they should have figured it out with the cap before now. It's embarrassment that he's still here. He shouldn't have been here. They should have cut him after last year, but they keep trotting him out with the practices and the videos and all that. I understand they're not making the videos. It's him doing it with the Instagram or whatever else. He should have been cut. And listen, when at the time of the trade, I will never run from this. I said I understood why they made the deal. I understood what was going on with Baker behind the scenes and how he was melting down. He wouldn't get back to him. He wouldn't return their text. There was so much going on there. And at the time, he looked like he had an MVP quarterback in front of you. I'm not killing them for making the trade. As horrendous as it was, it's hypocritical of me if I come out and kill them now for making the trade. I totally get why they made the trade. It was a magnificent disaster, and good teams identify that and get off of that as soon as possible, and they have not done that.
All right, Jason, thank you very much for the time. Read him in The Athletic. Thank you.
All right, see you, boys.
Jason Lloyd from The Athletic on the Fan Hotline. Did you like those answers? I did.
Yeah, most of them. Yeah.
I thought they made, I have to tell you, I didn't like hearing them, but I thought they made sense, I should say.
I wonder what the Shador people that are engaging with us right now, how would you have felt now about sitting at least a year? Jason said 2 years. The guy that you thought was a number one quarterback on the board at one point, how would you feel if he was in Philadelphia or Baltimore sitting at least one full year?
It would have made more sense to sit behind Lamar Jackson.
I want to ask them.
Well, can I already agree with them and say you're comparing Lamar Jackson to Dylan Gabriel? Can I already agree? I hate to put their opinion in. I hate to say their opinion for them.
Kenny, the reason I ask is because now they all seem fired up about this situation. This isn't going to be right. They're screwing up his development. All right, the teams that would have done it correctly, they would have sat your guy, and you wouldn't have seen him on a football field for at least a year.
But then again, they're mad at me because I'm saying it ain't going to go well Sunday. One hand washes the others, fellas. It's coming up on The Fan. Friends, Ken Carman here for Classic Auto Group.
rest of the season for the Browns not to take a quarterback in the first round?
I mean, he would have to play abundantly well. He would have to make it abundantly clear, you don't need to go looking any longer. I am your answer. And that's going to be hard because of the pieces around him, because the pieces around him are not very good. If he balls out Sunday and plays like we are not expecting, if he does throw for 300 and hang 30 on them, yeah, he's got the job for the foreseeable future, I think, for at least another couple of weeks. Because if you can make it work with this mess, all credit to you, because nobody else has been able to figure it out.
At least a couple of weeks? What are you talking about? I'm sorry, that part I glossed over. I beg your pardon. I was kind of in my emotions there. I didn't hear that originally. I beg your pardon. I was not paying attention. 300, 3 touchdowns. I will come in here and I will celebrate. I will celebrate being wrong. I'll sit in my wrongness. I'll let everybody tell me I'm wrong. And I'm gonna have a hard time keeping these alligators down, friend.
I think
if you take this mess and get 330 points out of this, you're the guy. I will set draft charts on fire. Can't do it in here because there's sprinklers. I will set them on fire on YouTube. I'm telling you right now.
His yardage prop right now is at 159.5. Will he have more or less than that?
Oh, I hope he has more. Obviously, we all do. That's my thing. Like, people are going, Ken, you're flip-flopping. You say you're going to... No, I think they can win because the Raiders are so bad, but I just don't think it's going to go well for him. And I'm nervous. I'm very nervous about it. And I think that anybody who's a big Shedeur fan should be very worried about Sunday. I think anybody who's a big Browns fan should be very... Well, if you're a big Browns fan, I think a lot of people have told themselves that we're just going to get a better draft pick out of it. I don't like to talk that way because... we spend time. They are people. We spend a lot of time talking about them. The players are people. You guys are people. Do we want to waste your emotions? Do we want to waste your time? I don't want to do any of that. Like, sometimes a gag is a gag. When I go on the internet, when Odell Beckham Jr. gets reinstated and say, I have an idea, that's a gag. That's a joke. But the whole thing about Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel and just about every other quarterback we've ever had here, that's not some elaborate ruse, but I don't think he's going to be set up for success on Sunday. And Lance Riesland has made me feel the best out of anybody. Out of my phone going crazy this morning. The only person that's made me feel any bit better about it has been Lance Riesland. I got other guys who are just like, it ain't going to go well, Kenny. You are right. And I'm going, oh, God. It ain't going well. And I don't like to talk about it. I don't like to say it. It bothers me to my core because I don't want to have to go through this. I don't like doing all these changes and changing out the head coach and changing out the general manager and changing out the quarterback and having to sit down and have knockdown dragouts and then have to force the issue with a quarterback this year when maybe the quarterback isn't there this year. But we got to have those conversations because that's what we're destined to do until somehow, some way this thing gets fixed. And if he's the one who fixes it, we have to understand that it's going to be miraculous and that he will have made the NFL. If he fixes this thing, he makes the NFL look like boobs for the rest of our lives. I don't care. I'll go on any single documentary ever and go, I didn't think it was going to go very well. I was so nervous for that Sunday against the Raiders, and he just turned it on and turned it up and turned himself loose, and away the Browns went, and we've been farting through silk ever since. I would love to do it. But I've been up since 1 a.m. for a reason, because it's been bothering me. It's been bothering me. James in Akron. Hello, James.
Yeah, well, look, Shedeur Sanders, let's just look at this thing for real. I think he's got to do lights out. This game and the next game got to be better. And if it's not, he's out of there. They don't want him in the first place.
Who doesn't?
What do you mean by out of there? Like off the...
I'm talking about the Browns. Oh, no. They can't trade him now. Where are they going to go? But somebody will get him. It'll be better than a fifth-round draft pick. Now, if he plays lights out this game, next game, then he's there. But I think it's going to take more than 2 games. It's going to take 3 or 4. If he does great these first 2 games and the third game comes out don't do well, they'll say, that's what we thought. So the organization, somebody in the organization, I don't know if it's the owner, I don't know if it's the coach, I have no idea who it is, but for whatever reason, this kid hasn't gotten a chance.
The only way...
And it can be the 5th round draft choice, or whatever you want to call it. but there's no excuse for what the Browns did to this kid.
Well, see, I disagree. I got to disagree to a certain degree there, James. I don't think it's got to be that much better this year or this week and the week after, or he's gone. Thank you for the call. I have the only way I will want to pull him out of there is if I feel sympathy for him. I said that during the Dylan Gabriel thing. Like, there's a point where it's like, this isn't good. He's not getting any better. You're hurting him. I said that 2 weeks ago. It's not getting any better. It's bad. And you are hurting the possibilities for him to have a future. And you wish that you had a veteran just to give him a breather. I'd like, if it doesn't go well for Shedeur, I'll put Dylan Gabriel in there just to give him a breather. We'll play that game for the rest of the year. That's where I'm willing to go with it. But I don't think it didn't go well for Dylan. I wasn't sure it was going to go very well for Dylan. I didn't think so, and I don't think it's going to go very well on Sunday. Cool Ray in Bedford. Hello, Cool Ray.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Hi, Cool Ray.
Hey, I listen to y'all every single morning, and I disagree with a lot of stuff y'all say. And I do agree with some things you guys say, but I want to take this conversation real to an uncomfortable situation about this Sanders thing. I hear you guys talk, and we can go back and forth about who's the better quarterback. We all know and why. But here's the thing that's bothering me, and as smart as you are, Ken, I don't understand how you never picked this up, is that the only argument is people are saying that he's a fifth-round draft pick. But there's only 2 quarterbacks active on most NFL rosters. So for him not to have an opportunity to practice and get reps, that's a crime. And then if you listen to your last... When did
I not say that today? When have I not said that?
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying this. But here's the thing. The only thing they keep going back is, he's a fifth-round draft pick and he shouldn't be drafted. But there's only 2 quarterbacks active on most NFL rosters, which means the coach's responsibility is to get both players ready, regardless of when they're drafted. So my question, though, here's my question.
Brian Hoyer told us that is definitely not the case in 90% of situations.
Right, and you know Brian Hoyer was lying. So here's my thing.
Why would you say he's lying?
He's not lying.
He backed up. Hold on. He had a specific anecdote. He backed up Cam Newton. So he was basically calling Cam Newton out because Cam Newton must have forgot or must have had a little bit of a fuzzy memory. He said, I backed up Cam Newton, didn't get 1 rep all year. He got COVID. We had to travel the day of the game because of that, and I came in and played.
You can't just say
it. Did they have Brian Hoyer ready for that game?
Here is the difference with that.
Notice he didn't answer. Cool Ray has moved on from that.
No. COVID was the...
Just say you're wrong. It's okay.
COVID changed. But here's the thing I want you guys to answer. And I know you guys got the...
Well, how come I have to answer a question and you don't, Cool Ray?
Hit it. COVID changed everything for everybody.
All right.
So
now, what do you need me to answer?
I want you guys to ask this question. When we watched the game, when did Gabriel get the concussion? Nobody's ever answered that because he played the whole first half.
I imagine when he tried to roll out to his left and he got swallowed.
So Browns are either in violation of the player health protocol or they lie. It's either one or two. Because he played the whole first half. So when did he get the concussion?
I'm not Dr. James Voos.
Absolutely. See, my thing is this. So we want to listen. All we asking is for if Shedeur, and I'm a huge Shedeur fan, if Shedeur is given reps and given time and he shows that he's still bad, then he don't belong. But how can we, if anybody go, because he didn't have any reps, he didn't do this, and then half of football.
Do you think that Kevin wants to play Shedeur?
Nope, I don't think Kevin wants Shedeur here.
Then why on earth would they? I mean, are you alleging that Dylan Gabriel doesn't have a concussion?
I'm alleging he doesn't. I think them Bulls got to him. I'm thinking that because we just saw the NFL pull up footage of a man spinning on another man's jersey. When did we see Gabriel grab his head or shake his head or do anything to show that he got injured?
So Dylan Gabriel doesn't want to play, is what you're saying?
I think. No, I'm not saying he didn't want to play. I think the coach protected that young man's confidence.
I'm getting a concussion from this conspiracy.
You can't. Cool, right? Concussion is a very serious deal in the NFL. The Browns would be fine. They'd take draft picks away. If they held guys out, there has to be an independent neurologist involved. There'd be a class action. There'd be a collective bargaining.
I can't entertain that anymore.
Problem with this right now, if that was the case.
Okay.
Yeah, the players' union would be all over that.
Of course they would. Of course they would. Protecting what? Protecting what? What are we protecting?
Oh, and by the way,
he would have it.
By the way, the sports books and the FBI would get involved if a player was taken out and they said it was a concussion and he didn't have a concussion. Have you followed the news lately?
Himself, I mean, if a player doesn't feel good or whatever, like a player himself, I guess, could take himself out if he wanted to. But again, I'm not going to entertain conspiracy here. I assume he got hurt when he got swallowed up at the end of the first half. Basically, I assume that's what happened, and I think that if he were able to go, Kevin would put him back in the game. He said as much on Sunday, or he would have him start. So this is what we're dealing with. So you can't. I don't understand how you have it both ways. Whew. Folks, get the latest on Browns practice throughout the week right now on our YouTube channel. Daryl Ryder recaps every single practice and game while featuring the best highlights from the coaches, players during media availability as well as on-field action. Subscribe 92.3 The Fan on YouTube now and get all the latest from the dangerous one, Daryl Ryder, on the Browns throughout the entire season. Coming up next, Tone, I've won a major award. Kinda. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, live on The Fan. Folks, it's Ken Carman here for the Ohio Turnpike. It's a better way to travel. It's a road, a ruad, a road.
roundup.com, promo code PHELPS. This exclusive Black Friday Cyber Monday deal, their best of the year. So order now before it ends. Support us by mentioning Jeff Phelps at checkout. Terms and conditions apply.
Whenever you need to talk college football, we've got you covered. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Tone, I won an award.
Kenny, another one. What's Pony going to say now?
But first, before we play this audio, I want to tell everybody that you can come to the podcast and eat some pizza and have some fun. Donato's Pizza.
Yes.
Over at Bomber Sports Guard.
On pepperonis.
Sports cards. On pepperonis. Pepperoni all the way to the edge.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hungry just talking about it. It is
Bomber Sports Card, 203 East Royalton Road in Broadview Heights.
Please come.
11 a.m., 1 p.m.
Please come.
Friday, emerging podcasting. That's why we didn't do one yesterday.
Please come.
We will do one tomorrow. And then Friday, the biggie.
Please come.
Live and in person. It's 92.3 The Fan Shoes and Clothes for Kids event. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, Friday, November 21st at Bomber Sports Cards in Broadview Heights.
Bring a coat. Bring something. Please. Please come. Come and talk. Come and talk the sports. We're there for 2 hours. Please, come and talk the sports. It's a fun time. Talk the sports. 11 to 1. I don't want to beg you, but I'm begging you. Come hang out with us, please. Please.
Come and trade cards with us. I've got a Santa Claus card.
Come and trade cards and come and trade barbs.
I've got a Dale Murphy error card.
I am not
good item.
I'm not lying about this. I'm not trying to belittle anybody else by this. I think I'm going to get belittled here in a second. I've won an award for the gas bag of the week apparently here. Now this is from Dan Lebitard's show, Metalark Media, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I've won gas bag of the week because you and I got in a knockdown drag out on Monday. Hit it.
In Cleveland, we've got Ken Carman. I don't know who he's arguing with.
Anthony Lima, his co-host.
Okay, so they are arguing. Shedeur Sanders has created a great deal of tension and passion. Let's go ahead and do.
And it starts with Ken Carman, and he's talking about how Shedeur was supposed to be a developmental pick.
They used the term development. I didn't use the term development.
But that's not what
you
this,
didn't.
That's
they
that's
did.
just not
so
what
I'm
this,
going to blame them.
That's not what this league is.
It doesn't matter what this league is. It's who they are.
But this league is not about making sure to force feed a fifth-round pick that should not have been drafted after they took a third-round quarterback. That is not what this league is. We're not a charity case. This league is not set up to make sure that Deion Sanders' son gets 1,000 reps. I'm sorry, Josina. And I'm sorry, Ken. And I'm sorry, all these people that are trying to act like the Browns are sabotaging him. He's a fifth-round pick. This isn't T-ball.
Hold on.
We're not trying to foster some great environment for kids to learn. It's the NFL.
This is not sports talk radio in Seattle.
My God.
This is no. Shut up for a second here. Sorry to say it like that. I take that word away. I take the shut up part away. But let me get back to the matter because now you got me really pissed off at you. Because let me tell you the truth of this matter. You are not talking about any NFL team. You are talking about the Cleveland Browns. You need to adjust your conversation to this football team because that's the entire reason we're in this quagmire.
Gas bag of the week.
Quagmire.
He immediately regretted and took back the shut up.
Go, shut up! No, I'm sorry about that, all right? I didn't mean that word.
It was very nice. Is that it? Still going?
Great.
That was very nice that Ken took it back, but we've worked together a long time. He meant to shut up. I wish he wouldn't have taken it back.
I don't like to tell you to shut up.
I loved
it's a talk show
the fact
for crying
that
out
is
loud.
Raw emotion. He doesn't have to take that back. And quite frankly, I know next time he'll tell me to shut up again, and we'll be in the running for gas bag of the week again. Because we know this Shedeur thing, not going anywhere.
Do I get a certificate or something for this? Do I get a certificate for gas bag of the week?
Ooh.
Audio again, courtesy of Metalark Media. I'm so ashamed of myself.
That is the same media that produces the Pablo Torre Exposes It All.
Nobody else gets me that mad. My own wife doesn't give me that mad.
Oh, come on.
I swear to God. There are so many guys who are like on the internet and they're like, I'm going to get Ken as mad as Lima does. I'm like, no, you don't. No. Only Lima gets me that mad. And like if you're driving through, if you heard that segment, you're like, this is when the show ends. These guys, I don't know how long they've been doing the show.
Remember Boomer and Gio?
They just end the show. Yeah,
remember they
right.
played it, and Gio was
They
like,
said-
"Oh,
he
you
said
can
we
tell.
hate each other.
You
He-
can tell. I've been in radio my whole
Yep.
life. I can tell those guys hate each other and
they're
will
not
not
gonna
be working together.
Not going to be working together. It's like, no, we've been together 9 years.
Will
I
we
don't- and I
outlive-
don't see the end in sight, at least not on my end.
And they
maybe
do
on
a
his
great
end.
show. Will we outlive Boomer and Gio?
You may have another 2 months left.
I can't believe I've won gas bag of the week.
Good poll, Kayla.
Thank you. Oh, my gosh. What is happening? This team is tearing. Well, we're not really torn apart, but there is a separation between those who have been with us a long time and those who are just jumping in, where it's like, the people who listen to us like that's Ken and Anthony on a Tuesday.
I'll tell you.
That could have been Ken and Anthony in the middle of July.
I'll tell you, this Sunday.
Oh, boy.
How could two bad teams, how many wins do the Raiders have? 2?
Yeah.
We have 2.
Something's got to give.
Has a 4-win matchup ever been as massive
I mean, it's
to
amazing.
us?
It's amazing.
I mean, come on. This
My heart is beating through my
gigantic.
chest.
We are going to be
And it's
watching.
not just my cholesterol.
Like it's the Chiefs
so big.
and the Browns in the playoffs. That's
point.
how we're going to be analyzing every throw.
It's a real good point.
So, Browns, you got me back in. Ken, was I not over it 4 weeks ago? Was I not like, who cares? I'm in Sunday, baby. I am in. This is the biggest Browns game in a long time.
Biggest Browns game of the year.
Let's go.
You know what it is? It's the biggest
Let's
Browns
go.
game of the year coming up on Sunday. And we're getting you ready for it all week long, Cleveland. We'll get you ready for it from 11 to 1 over at Bomber Sports Cards in Broadview Heights on East Royalton Road. I keep wanting to say it's Royalton because it throws me out the other way, 203 East Royalton Road on Friday. Make sure you are watching. And yes, I will definitely tell Pony that I added another award.
Another one.
Have a great day, everybody. Go Browns. Go Cavs.
Big game
Cavs.
tonight.
Going
I'll be there.
He's going tonight,
I'll
everybody.
go. Let's go. Big game.
He's going to be having some drinks. He's going to come back with the glugs tomorrow. I got to do heavy lifting in the morning.
Sounds good.
Cool, I got on the last show.
Hey.
This is Boomer Esiason with an Odyssey Sports Minute. Bryce Young enjoyed the game of his career at his first game ball. Devon Achane